All right, StreamYards tells me it's live, so hello everybody. Welcome to Role Playing Public Radio. I almost said Raillery Podcast Streaming, so I'm really glad I didn't do that. So you can tell where I've been for a while, but welcome. This is our Patreon game for this week in May. We are playing Delta Green. The scenario's name is called Unorthodox Orchestration. And we thankfully have some new Patreon players today. Actually, we have two new players to the Patreon. So I'll just go in alphabetical order here, starting with Brownie.
Hey everybody, my name is Brownie. I'll be playing Drake Teachout, federal agent today.
Okay, and just a question since I do this for everyone. So what is your federal agent specializing in, and what brought them into the program?
Very good question. Let me get back to you.
Okay, so they're just gonna put you on the spot right there. So all right, Charles.
Hi, I'm Charles, or Snag. I am playing Ruben Lars today. I am a federal agent with the FBI, mostly dealing with forensics. I got into Delta Green, went on a mission one day, kind of saw an operation happening that I shouldn't have seen, but I kind of took what I saw well, and the agent saw that and decided to bring me in, so still kind of a rookie.
Yeah, you only just froze instead of running away screaming when you saw a dimensional breach, so you're a keeper. So that's where we're going to keep you. All right, and Rich.
Yes, my name is Rich. I'll be playing James Wofford, a historian from Troopsburg, New York. I am a specialist in Sumerian history who was recruited into Delta Green for obvious reasons related to that. So I'm now a friendly. And with my beguiling charisma of 17, I show up occasionally and smile at other agents.
At least putting other people at calm right now while something horrible is reaching from behind them, or you all see a parrot in a box. So whichever comes first.
I have a high charisma and low power, so I look forward to dumping off all of my sanity loss onto people I love.
Oh, that's going to be interesting to see. So I did not notice. I didn't have that. Oh, where is it? Let me put this over here because I have all your character sheets there. Yeah, that's a bit of a low power there. So thank you for that gift. I appreciate it. So, all right. But yeah, as of right now, all of you are doing your jobs within the week when you either get an email or a secure message off of it on a secured burner phone notifying you that OCell has been activated. So all of you are either local or at least close along the eastern seaboard, which have made you agents of opportunity to look into a high-profile robbery. Oh. So that okay. So getting some background noise there. So everything okay?
Good here.
Yep.
Okay, so
I have my background if you want it, Aaron.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Go ahead if you want to. So, what's your background?
Having reviewed my skills, I've been kind of a utility player in the agency, and I've just been in the wrong place at the wrong time, seen a few things, talked to a few people. So simple, easy.
All right, excellent. So yeah, you just saw some things that you should not have been seeing. So, and at least that made you somebody who could be, I don't want to say thrown into the fire. So, looks like we lost Charles. So we'll give it a second here. Are you guys still hearing everything okay? Or
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Just making sure my broadcast is on there. So let's make sure device is not connected. All right. Charles, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. So, yep.
Sorry about that, the StreamYard page crashed.
Okay, so good. All right. So I'm so sorry. Hopefully that won't happen again. So I was wondering what might be happening too, because it very rarely has an issue with this. So, all right. But yeah, if it does blink out again, feel free to put something in the RPPR scheduling link right now and let me know. So,
Okay.
and we'll try to figure out a workaround just in case. So, all right. But beginning where I was left off. So, but yeah, all of you are located at least either near DC or along the eastern seaboard, fairly close, and have been notified about a high-profile robbery of a rare. Of a large musical artifact that was being transported from the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York to the Smithsonian, specifically to take place in one of their loose foundation unplugged concerts. This is a monthly concert that is free to the public that showcases usually different unique groups around, but this one was going to be more rare as it was going to showcase not only the piece that was stolen, but a large amount of undocumented sheet music that was actually found along with it, that was only made public currently made public by the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So it was being transported in a protective convoy coming from New York, but was robbed along a local rest stop slightly outside of Silver Springs, Maryland. They That's like the robbers looked like to be a professional high art group. They were doing something more akin to a smash and grab, but they ended up taking. That's like taking the driver and his own guard hostage, locking them into the bathroom, and making the attempt to remove the harpsichord itself. The That's like as they were going through, it was probably about within 10 to 15 minutes that the guard noticed that he could hear screaming, and then what sounded like a high pitched whining buzz that just seemed to make both him and the guard's his partner's ears almost ache and almost bleed. So, but it only lasted for about 10 minutes or so before dying off. Eventually, a local uh, highway patrol officer, excuse me, ended up finding the convoy, called in and found the guard. AMTs were brought in, and they ended up finding two of members of the group that ambushed the convoy, but their bodies seemed to be in an extremely desiccated state. So, and there was no kind of there's no evidence right now to may have caused that, or how it could have been caused, other than just the one note that would be possibly interesting to our forensics officer, is that it seemed that one of them experienced, for lack of a better term, an extreme exothermic reaction. So this seems to be a little bit odd. That's a harpsichord that was stolen, which is saying it's a unique one because it is a folding portable harpsichord, of which there are only a handful left in the world. Should have appeared at least on some black market or fencing site contacts, but has yet to at any point. And there haven't been people monitoring certain drug lord or high art traffickers don't see any information through their normal channels. So you are being called in, one, not only to look into the death of the two thieves that were recovered at the scene of the crime, but to also make contact with the head. With the head of the musical historical department over at the Smithsonian, in order to get some more information on this harpsichord and see if you can trace its steps back. Because as of right now, as far as they can tell, the program doesn't see anything that could be a direct threat, but in turn, they don't want to let this go because they are have been wrong before, and then they have learned the consequences for leaving things out in the wild when they should not be. So, all right. So that's the basic information that you have been given right now. Everybody has been given initial housing within a local motel over in Silver Springs, Maryland, near the coroner's office where the bodies are being held. And you are all. Everybody else has has each other's contact information right now. So you have been you have been introduced. You know what you should be looking for, and you can start collecting information. Currently right now, just to let you know, you are set with a meeting with the program director over at the Smithsonian tomorrow. And let's see, Charles, what is the name of our program director?
Let's say Heinz.
Oh, we lost it again. All
so
right.
just to confirm, while we're waiting for it to come back,
Yes.
The harpsichord is still missing.
Yes.
2 of the criminals were found desiccated.
That is correct. Yes.
And they appear to have been exposed to heat. Is that right?
It appears right now that the desiccation may have come from the inside too. That again, that when they're stating an exothermic reaction, that it looks like it was something internal that just completely completely vaporized almost all of their internal. Vaporized all of their internal fluids. So that's right. It looked like they cooked from the inside out before losing all moisture.
And when you say a portable folding harpsichord,
yes,
you mean an actual harpsichord and not like an auto harp, right? So we're talking.
Yes, it is an actual harpsichord. So let me go ahead and I will link. 1 second. Link this into the chat for everybody to look at. And if you look off to the side, there's a private chat.
Yep.
So this is what it looks like too. Basically a unique harpsichord that can fold into a suitcase-like box that can be easily transported around. Relatively
easily. We're still talking something that's pretty good size, right?
Comparatively, yeah. So you could basically haul it all on your back. So, but for it, it's a fairly unique object too. Specifically, it's like nobody knows who actually invented this base design, but it was set within the 1700s. But in this case, right now, the overall, it's something that you could get easily transporting onto a truck or different. Or into a van if necessary, but you would need to offload pretty quickly. So, all right, let's check there. Okay, so. All right, we'll hold up just for a second right now.
Do we know, is it in the materials who the private owner was prior to the New York Museum taking custody of the harpsichord?
Unfortunately, that information right now, let's see with that. What is your history score?
60.
60? Okay, yep. So you would have full mention of that. Unfortunately, right now, no. They actually do not know who this harpsichord belonged to. They have a couple of theories right now, specifically that this one may have been built by Christianus Nunemacher, who is who lived in Genoa. So, but unfortunately, right now, as far as they know, it's just an educated guess at this point. So, but there are other well-known makers of those, usually primarily within France and Florence.
Okay.
So at this point right now, it's the reason why this is also coming off as so odd is outside of again the desiccated bodies. Oh, there's Charles. So, all right, can you hear us, Charles?
Yes, sorry about that.
All right, no problem. Sorry, my apologies. I didn't notice it just coming right back in. So, all right, we'll catch you up. But yeah, noticing the harpsichord itself right now is not anything of note, which is odd, other than just being a unique piece. So, one that there are not as many of in the world anymore.
Okay. And do we have? Sorry if you mentioned this, and this is really more of a federal agent question, but do we have identifications on the 2 dead thieves? Do we know their names or anything?
Not as of yet. So that's why they are in. That's like that information is currently being processed within the coroner's office. So you can That's like, so it's being requested that you go in and take a look at that, and they can give you that information on site. So you have also been given clearances through it's like the program to be able to be on site, but they do recommend that you do not overstay your welcome. So as is in the old cowboy days right now, you're putting your own credentials online.
Was there anything else being transported with the harpsichord, and was anything else missing?
As of right now, the police report is not showing anything else outside of the harpsichord. You do note in the do note that through other investigations that part of this, the the concert that was supposed to be put on, was supposed to involve different instruments, apparently from around the same period. But they to showcase the how these would sound, how these pieces that were recently discovered would sound within with the pieces that they were utilized with. But as of right now, those pieces are already in the ownership of the Smithsonian.
So the bodies of the dead thieves are at the coroner's office. Where is the truck?
The truck has been impounded at that's like with the local police station. So if you would like to investigate it, there they can. They are just keeping it there for the moment until it can be thoroughly searched and returned to the museum, since it was one of the Met's local trucks that was taking it down.
Okay.
When the driver and a guard were taken hostage, did they see more than 2 people?
Yes, they actually identified 4 people within the group that ambushed the truck. So, but the other 2 are supposedly got away. The only other thing that they identified from was that they were in a black SUV with plates from Missouri, which are assumed to be falsified.
Would the harpsichord, would it fit in the SUV?
Yes, it would. So it's a fairly large one, and yeah, the overall, again, this the picture I'm showing to you. Let's see, the dimensions right now basically are about 4.5 to 5 feet. So that's basically that's something that could be put into the SUV itself.
Okay.
Large pinball machine size, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if not a bit shorter too. And if you're looking at the picture, once it's folded in there, its profile is much more compact, so you can get in there pretty easily. So, but they did note that they, when they were stealing this, given the fact that it's possible fragile state, excuse me, they would state that the SUV or whatever they transported in possibly would have to have safety, have to either padding or restraints in order to keep it together. So, if you do investigations to see if there have been any kind of purchases, possibly through black market means, that might be another lead to go off of.
And I don't suppose this happened in an area that we could use traffic cams to track the direction that they went after leaving the area?
I will say go ahead and make a luck roll. Well, let's make a luck roll on that. So high or low?
High.
High? Okay. All right, I'll roll that. Or you can go ahead and roll your own luck roll. There you go. So you're high?
Nope, 06.
06. So unfortunately, the rest stop's camera was disabled by the group, so they knew what they were doing. And unfortunately, as of right now, it's more of just a bureaucratic issue about getting speeding cams along the highway that had been recently set up by the highway patrol. So that's about as much as you could get at the moment.
Was there a cashier or attendant at the gas station that saw this? Or any witnesses?
No, it was not actually a gas station. It was a rest stop.
Oh, okay.
So, and unfortunately, it was late at night, so any of the attendants that would have been there, either custodial services or patrols by the highway patrol, would not be there at that time.
Okay.
So, but as of right now, yeah. So that's at least the base information that you would get. That so the current options that you have right now, at least for today, would be going over to the impound over at the police department to be able to look over the truck and see if there's any evidence that you can pull off from there. Also, the coroner's office, you have an open invitation. to be able to look at take a look at the bodies and see what you might be able to find from there.
And have we been put in touch with each other yet, or are we expected to meet somewhere along the way?
As of right now, you have already been given the information for each of your burner phones, and I would say unless there's a particular reason that you wouldn't, you have already met at the motel that you have been given rooms at.
Okay.
So, but at this point, if you want to, you can also do any other research roles or other roles if you would like to think about that before proceeding to the other parts of the investigation.
You had mentioned calling around to look for the restraints or padding that would have been needed to protect it. Would that be a criminology roll?
Yes, I would say that you could either do a criminology roll on that, or let's see. I would actually say criminology or history roll too. I would actually allow that at a penalty, since that is talking about you're going over the preservation of artifacts. So.
Well, let me give that a shot.
Okay.
Let's see. 21 under 50?
21 under 50? Absolutely. So, yeah, if you were looking for that, to be able to, one, make sure that you're doing it quickly without being caught, looking over at some of the local U-Hauls or larger box truck hauling companies would probably be a good guess. And that way you could actually give falsified information about whatever you're renting, and most of the straps or anything that you would need to put it down could be easily it could be easily thrown away if needed.
All right, I'll make some of those calls if somebody else wants to do something in the meantime.
Okay.
Could I use a criminology check to see if there are any thieves in the area that are known for these kind of higher end items or rare items?
Absolutely. Yes, you can go make that roll.
51 under 70?
That'd be the payday gang.
Okay.
So, and that's sorry, that's a joke. So my apologies. so that means you're already dead, if that's the case. No. Yeah. You through criminology, you know that there are at least three basically three groups that usually traffic in more high-end items. Usually, one is the Mendoza cartel. So, which is it's like fairly well-known. That's a fairly well-known human trafficking ring that is kept off the radar most of the time from their bigger crimes too. They usually sacrifice a lot of pieces, but they know part of that is used to fund the taste of Manuel Mendoza, who is their current leader. So that would be the primary one. The other two groups right now are more smaller. That's like I would say usually mercenary for higher groups too. Let's see. The second group right now is what was I going to name them? The Falconers Club, as they kind of end up calling themselves. They are a group of former PMC that have taken to doing higher end jobs to be able to kind of fund their expensive tastes. So, and also tasting in more expensive weaponry. So, and the third group that's like thieves that you would probably know about this. Let's see, Brownie, I'll actually give this one to you. What should our third group be called?
Let's see. The Mechanists.
The Mechanists. So, Mechanists. All right. All right, Mechanists. All right, and yeah, so these guys are, by their names right now, are particularly set within being able. It's more of the thrill for them to be able to actually pick up higher jobs too. Specifically, they are known for being able to pull off far more complex heists, especially with fragile objects. So those are the three leads that you can think of within the local area.
Okay.
Can I use history to try to cross-reference harpsichords in general, or well-known harpsichords with like desiccations or spontaneous human combustion?
So, you possibly could do that, although that would be at a significant penalty right now, just because it's an odd thing. Do you have any occult rating?
I do have occult. I have, what do I have? 40.
40. Okay. I would say go ahead and make an occult check.
No.
Okay, so yeah, this is at least outside of what you would normally consider to be the ability of a harpsichord. So this when they're talking about Handel's Surprise Symphony, this is not the surprise they were talking about. So they didn't know what was going on with that. So there might be other research that you could do later on with that, but yeah, with historically at least out of superstition or myth, you can't really find anything that would connect with that.
Would it be a human role now that I know to call around to the U-Hauls and see if I can catch the trail that way?
Let's see. So, yeah, I would actually give you a human roll on that. So go ahead and make that.
Oh no, 99.
99. So, yeah. Yeah. If nothing else, the first person you got on there, as you're making your calls around, they unfortunately the Mendozas actually have a little bit more it's like influence over a lot of the local businesses, so you would have to take it up higher on the corporate chain to get anything done, and even then, unfortunately, the people at the local branches might not even talk to you because they are way too scared. So that's going to be a dead end on that one unless you decide to just try to, if you try to find go on site and do some local research.
All right.
So, alrighty then. Are there any other things you would like to research before going to one of the other two sites?
No, and you said that we have an invitation to meet with we should meet with the director of the music department.
That is correct. That is scheduled for tomorrow.
Okay.
Since they are currently, that's like in the middle of trying to mitigate the PR nightmare of a rare artifact being stolen from a protected convoy. So so at this point, you have been placed placed as a investigative FBI liaison in order to look into this situation. So so basically, the Delta Green has given you the credentials to be able to do this for the moment.
Okay.
So, alrighty then. Anything else?
No, I think we should probably get on site and either examine the bodies or examine the truck.
Okay.
I'm open to whichever one we want to do first.
Well, we're nearby. I think we should stop by the coroner's office.
Okay.
Yeah, agree.
All right then. So, and is everybody going together, or you're not separating one off the other?
Yeah, no. With three of us, it's harder to split up. So I guess we'll all go together.
Oh, it's just a choice, is all it is. So,
how quickly do we want this to end?
Right, that's true. So, all right. Okay. So yeah, you are going over to the Silver Springs, Maryland coroner's office. So, it's like any other one that you've been to. Although this one's actually located at one of the local hospitals. Since they've since they are not as big of a township, too. It's actually kind of unique in the fact that their boundaries kind of fluctuate. So that's like every so year with the census. So they are and being as close as they are to DC. But yeah, you're greeted by the front desk person. So that's like asks all your credential information. So
I'll give it to her.
All right. And
I hang in the back to hide the fact that I'm just a history professor and don't have credentials.
Okay. Well, in this case,
special,
unless you just guys scream out, "I don't belong here," you're probably going to be okay with them. So, and you have two FBI agents who can actually vouch for you during this time. But yeah, as she says, "Oh yeah, just wait for a second right here." It's about 30 minutes later, and then you have it's like it looks like the coroner comes out. Looks like he's a guy in his mid-40s, slightly balding around. It's like the top of his head to his temples. Just looks constantly overworked. It's like, hey, are you guys the feds?
Sure are.
Okay. Nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Richardson. So he pulls out a hand, although he notices it's gloved, and just kind of it's like, oh, sorry. Pulls it off and shakes your hands. I assume you're here for the burn case, as I'm calling it.
Yeah, the two John Does.
Yeah, that's what we can kind of talk about here. So, do you mind coming to my office first?
Sure.
Okay. So you all pile in to there. You can actually see, it's the morgue itself right now seems to be an outcropping where they've built it outside, basically within the normal city morgue, but they've just blocked off sections where they could use this for the police side of matters. But he has a very, very tiny office that's just glass paned. That's kind of cramped when you get in there. But as he pulls out, he immediately pulls out what looks like a bottle of vodka, pours out. I'm assuming you don't mind, and the fact that I'm working on dead people, so no conflict of interest here.
Antiseptic.
So, absolutely. Um, so we're still in the middle of getting most of the autopsy results around. I can tell you for a fact that I have no idea what the hell happened here. This is baffling to me. The only thing that I could really think of initially, before you see the bodies, is that the actual cause of death was what appeared to be, for all lack of a better term, a wildfire fever. So basically, a fever that ran so hot that it literally shut down all of the organs in the body, but it didn't stop. And I don't understand.
Did the bodies have some sort of infection or anything on them?
We've taken it through we've taken the precautions and checked for any kind of possible virus or pathogen that we could think of, but I don't see how anything could do it this quickly. So, or this violently is the problem.
This may sound kind of silly, Doc, but this almost sounds like a microwave. Have you guys checked these bodies for radiation at all?
No, we have actually. That's the case. And we haven't seen anything else of that as yet. And I don't. Again, there's nothing at least externally that I could see that basically would have, be a threat to anything, any of us anymore. So, but that wasn't the only thing, and because the desiccation was a side product of what ended up happening. But shit, I just better just show you. He takes a swig of the vodka again, gets back up. And as you're going through, you can see both of the bodies in there. One looks fairly normal underneath a sheet that you can see, but the other one seems to be it's laying on its back, obviously, but there seems to be something jutting, like it's slightly making the body's profile look slightly bigger at about a 45-degree angle. So imagine seeing the body under a sheet flat, and then there's just what looks like a larger growth all along the side pushing up against the sheet.
Kind of like a broken bone trying to stick out?
If the broken bone was the entire length of the body.
Oh, okay.
So can you walk us through this, Doc? What can you tell us you found?
So he's standing over the other body. Okay. I need to preface that this is disturbing. I don't understand this, and I as hell do not want this showing up on anything like a Ripley's Believe It or Not or whatnot. Okay. So he takes off the sheet, and everybody can make a sand roll.
Wait, 68?
No.
44.
No.
Did you critically succeed, Proudy?
I believe I did, yes.
Oh my god! So all right, so Proudy succeed. Ruben, did you? What'd you do?
I failed.
You failed. Okay. And Rich?
I also failed.
You failed. Okay. So all right. Apparently Drake has just seen more shit in his day than anybody, so it's like whatever. So, but yeah. So as he removes it, you see on the back what looks like to be an incredibly desiccated body that actually has. It's like that looks like it's been blackened around the mouth, in the eyes and ears, where at least the orifices where extreme steam looks like it's come out and actually charred the skin long before the desiccation came through. But that's not where, at least when you look onto the left side of the body, that's fine. When you look to the right, you notice what that jutting piece was. You see the face of this person, this corpse, extending out into what looks like another face, and all the way down his body is basically looked like it's another extension of this body, basically trying to pull or rip itself out from the main host. So,
like a Siamese twin, sort of.
if you looked right now, it would almost wonder if this would be a severe congenital conjoining, but obviously this person was not that, and also if anybody were conjoined in that way, there's no way they would live that long. So this was just appearing afterwards too. The best way I can kind of almost put it too is if you try to think you've all seen the Black Snake I guess the Black Snake fireworks.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so it's kind of imagine like that, something where you given an external heat source right now, and it just grows from that. That's kind of like that.
Doc, are you sure this is 2 people and not 3 people where 2 of them melted together?
Absolutely, because that is the only other corpse that came through, and he does take the sheet off of it. This one does not have, at least is not external. At the first glance, does not have that. The extreme growth that this one other one had. This one does as the other one, but if you look on the other side and he points to the right side of the arm too, you can see what looks like are raised muscle tissues under the bone, under the skin, that are bulging against it, even in their desiccated state.
Did these 2 come in with any effects? Their clothing, anything else come in with them?
So we ended up trying to pull. It's like we're trying to pull that out, but we can't. That's like most of that was at least burned away too. You can look over that's like onto the side right now. He points over to a locker, and you could try to look through that, but I didn't. I couldn't get anything out of it too. It looked like the licenses were melted.
Any kind of wedding rings or anything on these gentlemen?
Let's see. Go ahead and make another luck roll.
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
No.
Nope. Okay. Nothing on those guys. So, but yeah, they do have different things. Like they have a kind of waltz and everything. So, but it's going to require some careful reconstruction to be able to do that. So, if you want to do that on your time, absolutely you can too. But the coroner's office, they're focusing more on the cause of death and the biology of it. So,
are there any dental records?
So, for this one, that could be that's like he hasn't taken the imprints of that yet, primarily because this. But you could attempt to try to get that. So, I would actually allow a forensics roll on that if you would like to see if you can try to pull that information while you're here.
Sure.
And I would say take impressions on all 3 heads.
Okay.
That is a no.
Okay. So, I will say how much do you fail by?
49.
49. Okay, so that's a pretty high roll then. Yeah. So this information, unfortunately, you try to take the impressions, but the process in the desiccation, it literally causes the clay that you're taking right now literally causes the bones to break off. So the teeth to take out. So this is an incredibly weakened state. Even trying to do it on our friend with the man with the 2 heads. So and bodies and livers and whatnot.
Coroner, we haven't named him, right?
I apologize. So he is Dr. Carlston.
Okay, Dr. Carlston, have you done a full autopsy?
So he is basically just completing most of it too. So yeah, I've tried to do this right now, and the report that you're giving right now basically is the concurrent is that physically they died of a continual high grade fever that basically burned them out and shut down
Sure.
their organs.
And I understand why you don't want to write spontaneous human combustion on the cause of death line.
Mhm.
So I get the being elliptical about it. But my real question is, have you examined the projections, the conjoined sections, to determine what sort of tissue they're made of?
So that's yeah, I've took a look at that, and all of this it's the same tissue. So as far as I can tell, this is
Right.
and this also happened just a couple days ago. So obviously, DNA testing is not going to be coming back on this just yet.
Yeah, and no criticism intended, Doctor. But my question is, does he have two skulls?
So as you're saying right now, yeah, at this point he does. So, but this
okay.
this is literally the only way I can explain this. It's like he was budding. That literally this it's like something was going through an almost asexual reproduction of cells on that's like cells until this was fused or created.
And is the projection, the bud, is it burned as badly as what we take to be the original body?
Yes, it is. So but it looked like if it was alive, it quickly succumbed to whatever was it quickly succumbed to the high grade fever before the desiccation took over.
And I know this isn't likely, but squint kind of at the faces of body 1 and body 2. Do they look, from what I can tell, bone structure in the face, look like the same person at all?
Looking into it, yeah, they actually do. That's not even a base. They actually, you could actually see one. Yeah, for that one, they actually do have what appears to be. Appears to be basically all the same. Yeah, the eye sockets look pretty much the same, except for what is flowing into the other one. It's like all the structure seems to be dead. Let's see. Although I will actually let you make an alertness. Everybody can make an alertness check on this.
Yes, 32 under 50.
32.
No.
13 under 70.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right, and James, did you make a roll?
Oh, you mean me? Yes, I failed horribly. Yes.
Okay, no problem. So I just want to make sure. So, all right. But yeah, Drake and Ruben, you both notice that there's actually a little bit of an interesting thing, even though through the desiccation that's kind of odd. So on each of them, on the primary one, you notice that there is a scar running over the left side eye socket that kind of goes down from the eyebrow where it would ended up bisecting that almost about halfway down the cheek. So that's interesting. So that's obviously there. The other side does not have that scar.
The new growth does not have the scar.
The new growth does not have that scar. So at least in one way, despite all the damage, that is a difference. One difference that you're noticing between the primary host and then the budding body.
And originally, when I asked that question, I didn't mean Melty McMelterson and his bud. I meant the two separate complete bodies, trying to determine if one budding and separation had occurred and then more were starting to occur.
Oh, my apologies. Okay, so you're trying to think about so okay. So no, as far as you can tell, there was no other ones that occurred after this. This was just, as far as you could tell, this was coming from it. And if there was another one that may have come off of it, there's at least no evidence that you can tell at this moment.
And there's nothing on the first body that looks like it had a budding or anything like that?
It was starting to bud.
It looks like it was starting to, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, but if it happened, then this particular guy ended up expiring before that was even an option. So,
sorry.
okay.
What is the you mentioned the charring around their orifices, but the main part, piece of their skin, is there any? Has it been deformed? Is there any discoloration or anything?
Are you talking about their actual the overall their skin?
Yeah. Away from not near the mouth or nose or other places where you said there was charring.
No, there's no other discoloration other than just general gray death pallor, or that you would see out of, or especially the extreme one you would see out of a desiccated corpse.
Sure. So, any tattoos or piercings or any other distinguishing marks on either of them?
That's actually a good question. So go ahead and make another alertness check.
I did not make it. Does the Discord die roller roll under 80?
I assume so. I can try. Okay. So with that, all right. So nothing that you can see on that. Although if your compatriots want to, they can roll on that as well if you want to give it a shot.
Sure. No, I might also want to use Discord. That's a 96 over 70.
Okay. All right, Drake.
I got a 19.
19. Okay. So, yeah. So unfortunately, both James and Ruben are just confounded by this too much. It's like there can't be distinguishing marks. But
well, they're on edge.
Yep, you are on. Yeah, this is kind of really fucked up, unfortunately. So, but Drake, yeah, you actually take a look and notice that there is one that's like a very, very small tattoo on this. It's like the bottom end, which looks to be that's like it looks to be two interlocking gears with what appears to be some sort of a tattoo of a Mobius strip going around it.
And is this on Melty McMelterson or the first guy?
That is on the the twins, so as we'll call them now. So yes, so that is you do actually see that through. It's like near around on his wrist underneath. So, but it's just barely showing through because of the pallor and the desiccation.
I'll point this out to my fellow agent. Do you recognize this? I think I've seen this before.
Okay, and what? Let's see, Ruben. What was your? Take a look at there. Ruben, what was your criminology roll?
70%.
70. Okay, yeah, absolutely. That's high enough to be able to do that. That is absolutely the Mechanist. That is one of the tattoos that they use.
Okay.
So well, that narrows down who we're looking for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, that's about as much information as you're getting off from from this area right now, unless you had any other questions for the coroner.
No, I'll just point out my observations to the coroner so they can make their way into the report.
Okay. And so, but yeah, this obviously is going to.
Sorry, yes. Before we leave, we never did go through the effects.
Oh yeah, you can go into that. So let's see. Well, since you're gonna kind of go through that, I'm going to have you. Let's see. So I will say to be able to pull something out of this, I will either allow a forensics roll at full, or you can do a criminology roll at that's like at a -20.
Could he also? Just before you do that, historian, does that mean you've restored potentially some archaeological?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I have archaeology at 50. Would that be useful in going through the items?
For that, I would say if you want to roll that, that would be. I will say if you want to roll and succeed, that will allow a forensics bonus.
Okay.
So go ahead and make that roll.
No.
Nope. Yeah, I'll check that. I'm just morbidly curious myself. Okay, apparently you don't want me rolling it.
All right.
So. All right, so yeah, unfortunately, you just don't get the bonus on there. You try to apply some techniques that you would normally see, but it's just not as compatible with a forensics.
These things are
for
too
mod-
new.
Yep, it's a little bit too. So you need a chisel. You need a brush.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, Ruben, if you want to make your forensics roll, or Drake.
I can make it. I have a 50%.
Okay.
Nope. That's a critical failure.
A critical failure. Yep, everything. It is again the damnedest thing. That unfortunately the wallet was again located far too close to an orifice, I guess. So and
See, I wasn't asking that question.
Yeah.
I was
No.
thinking it, but I wasn't asking it.
yeah. So that in this case, this was a guy who was carrying it on there. So that just kind of unfortunately, highly cured leather is not going to be very protective against the literal heat that was coming out. So.
All right.
So that unfortunately is no longer a lead, but you do know that you do have a lead that it looks like the mechanist, or well, it's like we're possibly behind this. So you can take a look at that. Otherwise, you do have the. That's like unless there's another lead you want to route, you do have the. It's like the yard. That's like to be able to look at the transport, or if there's another thing you would like to do. I'll let you know this is a little bit later in the evening, so chosen to basically make sure that you aren't gravitating any kind of attracting any unwanted attention.
I have a feeling we should go to the impound, check out the vehicle, just see if we could find anything else, and because I feel like we're gonna have to talk with someone from the mechanist group.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, if you can get a hold of them. So that's again crossing lines of that, especially if they've taken stolen something. So all right, so yeah, you all get into your rental vehicle and go across town. So with that, but I will say that with it's like with this one, this would be an FBI one, so I will say if any of you are, it's like you'll have actually police scanners or at least just database alerts that will be available. So everybody, you can go ahead and make a another alertness roll.
No, 92.
Yes.
91.
Anyone? Okay. So all right. In this case, Rich, you made yours.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so yeah, your cohorts are just kind of sitting around, not really. That's like
I'm still freaking over what I saw.
Yeah, you've literally seen what looks like a full human being trying to birth from another human being
Yeah.
by
I'm focusing on the radio broadcast to try to block out what I just saw. So that's why I'm the one who catches it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're just listening. There is a scanner on there. They do note that there is apparently an all points bulletin out for what appears to be a that's a 6 foot Caucasian individual with what looks like cogwheel tattoos that was reported attempting to break into a house off of it's like within the within one of the neighborhoods in Silver Springs, Maryland. It looks like the report was only just a couple. The break-in was only about a couple blocks away from where you are right now.
Gentlemen, I don't know if you just heard that, but shouldn't you turn the sirens on and the lights and squeal the tires and all of that sort of thing?
Well, we can do some of that.
So, although you can't, if you decide to do that, that does put attention on yourself. So,
well, we don't have lights or sirens, but we do have wheels. We can head over there.
Yeah.
You don't have one of those that you pull out of your bag and put on the dashboard?
No, it's not a 70s cop flick. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty then. So, all right. So, yep, you head out. It's like towards that area. You do. I will say, as you're driving by, because you're still trying not to attract any kind of general attention to. from this, you do see the house that was listed within the All Points Bulletin, and that's like you see cops in the front. They're talking to some woman. Looks like that's like who's out in the front, and that's like her pajamas, just looking very confused. And the name on the side of that reads Anderson. So with the full address. So if you read, so that's information that you can research.
The house that he was trying to break into says Anderson on it.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like that's where the police are. It looks like they're outside taking a report as of this moment.
Okay.
We can discreetly talk to the officer. Also, I believe.
Okay. So in this case, how you can do that, although it does look odd for like an FBI agent, just like FBI. What? So
was it public that that the instrument was stolen?
No. This has just happened within the last day or two, so it is being kept quiet at the moment, given the fact that it is such a high-profile case and that they are concerned. Both museums were concerned that was being done for possible publicity. So
FBI agents, I don't know if you've heard this, but I heard that the Mechanist robbed a bank, and they have cogwheel tattoos. And that's a federal crime. Maybe you should go talk to the policeman.
Exactly. It's related to, we heard it on the scanner, and it's related to an investigation that we're currently involved in.
Okay. So like that. Okay. So yeah, if you're stopping the car right now, you could do that. Let's see. What is so what's your law or persuasion?
I have persuasion at 50.
50?
Same. What's your law?
Mine's at 30.
Same.
Okay, so I will say that your credentials will have a little bit on there too, but also remember that is exposure too. So if
we don't have to give them a lot of information, we heard it on the scanner, and it has something to do with an investigation that we are currently involved in.
Okay, so you can give that a shot. So go ahead. You see they're taking the state. Are you going up to the police officer as he's taking the statement, or?
I think we can maybe research the name that you gave us, Anderson, and wait for the policeman to be done, just so we're not interrupting. What do you think, Agent Lars?
Yeah, that sounds fine. I was going to say, otherwise we could go up and try to talk with them while Rich does the check online to see if he can find anything.
Okay, yep, that can be done as well. So, all right. So in this case, Rich, if you want to, you can go ahead and make the roll for research.
So would that be bureaucracy, probably?
Let's see, because you're just looking at the information on there.
I'm not really. I'm not really hacking anything, so it's not computer science. It's just looking stuff up.
Absolutely, yeah. So I would say if you want to, you can use bureaucracy just to give the information that you need to, or if you want to use computer sciences, if that's an option.
Either one of them fails with that roll. So whichever one we decided it didn't work out.
Okay, well, I'll let you decide. Oh, since I didn't know you're rolling for that one, so you can go ahead and make since you can say it's bureaucracy and make your roll. So.
Okay. No, still no. Just failed.
Okay, just failed. Okay. So that's only a 42, and what you had bureaucracy at 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I presume I can tell if she's like on Facebook or something, right? I just can't get.
Yes, absolutely. So unfortunately, the general information not seeing that, but combining where you are, as well as information from this address information in Google Earth, you actually do find out that the residence right now is part of a Sarah Anderson is the person who lives here.
Okay.
So that
I text that to the FBI agents as they're walking up to talk to the cop.
Okay, so you have the name of the person who's here, and get the information. As they're talking around, you can see her, Miss Anderson, looking at you. Everybody at the cops around. Gentlemen, this is an active crime scene. If you need help right now, you'll need to call 911.
We're aware of that, officer. We heard on the scanner the report here, and it sounded like it had something to do with a investigation that we are currently involved in.
At that point, I'll show our badge.
Quickly, flash badge.
Flash badge. Okay. Okay. So I've almost done with taking this statement here for a minute right now. Can you give me a minute right here? So go ahead and make your persuade roll.
Are you taking this one, Ruben?
Sure.
Aaron, while they're rolling, is he the only cop here?
Yes, it looks like he is the only off. Actually, I take that back. He does have a partner in the car who's just keeping an eye on things, but he looks to be the only officer out at the moment.
Okay.
That is a no, 65 out of 50.
All right, so I'll look at that. So he kind of
Back to physical dice.
All right. Look, I appreciate this, but if this is actually part of a concerned case right now, you'll need to actually go to the precinct and talk to my captain, talk to my captain if there is a particular connection or something. I'm currently in the middle of getting information. So, and he kind of looks at there and just basically just looks just is looking around and seeing like whatever. So, all right. So you're not going to get any information out of him.
All right.
But let's see. In this case, if you keep going back to alertness right now. So as you're walking away, I'll say that Ruben, you can't.
FBI agents, why don't you give the lady a card as you're walking off?
If you, oh, good. Right. I would say, where is this? What would that be? I'm just gonna say that if you're gonna do like the, excuse me, the Las Vegas card slide, I guess. In this case, that would be a dex check.
I mean, it's completely legitimate. They're FBI agents. If they hand a private citizen a card and say, "Call me when the police leave. I'd like to talk to you about what happened." What's the cop going to say?
That's true. So, all right, that's absolutely true here. So, we can go ahead and do that. Go ahead. Let's see, Drake. Since you're the one that was kind of told off right now, if you want to, you can make a persuade check to see if you can. She will pay attention to you.
Sure. 31 under 50.
50. Okay. She seems pretty shaken up and takes the card. Like, oh, okay. I'll see that. So you've gotten close enough to do that. So go ahead and make one more alertness roll, but you can get a +10 on this.
It's good that I got a +10 because that is a 55 over what would have been a 50. So
a critical success. So yep.
Yes.
So you are actually close enough to the door that you end up as you're looking in, you see that there is that's like what appears to be a couple family portraits. One of those appears to be that's like Sarah Anderson, and a gentleman who is bald. That's like not really smiling in the photo, but has a very interesting scar going down his left eye.
That is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we should have queued up the dun 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 musical cue.
So, well, Delta Green has stopped those because that's usually a dead giveaway.
That's right.
To everybody else. So, all right. But yeah, that's at least the information that you have for right now.
All right, yeah, I'll go back to the car. We were heading towards the impound.
Okay. So, all right, yeah, but you go to the impound. That's like over at the police station. That's like you show your general credentials about this and are allowed back in. And you can take a look at the truck itself. It is just a connected. That's like basically a large box truck, but is branded specifically for the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So you notice that general observation, you see that the locks have been broken. So the truck itself right now looks like it was ransacked pretty hard to try to bust out all of the restraints that they had. But everything else, it's a fairly neat job when you kind of take a look at it. So, but they said that they fingerprinted everything. They tried to, at least. It looks like everybody was wearing gloves or being incredibly professional about this. So. They haven't found anything as of yet, but they give you the initial forensics report. So if you want to go over that or look for anything, you can.
Is there any obvious damage to the truck?
The only obvious damage is in the back, where obviously bolt cutters were used in order to get past the restraint bars around the doors.
So were and forgive me if you mentioned this up front, but were they like stopped at a traffic light, or how did they get this truck to stop?
They were. It's like they ambushed them when they pulled over at a rest stop.
Okay.
So they were following them in an SUV, an unmarked SUV with low lights, so it wasn't noticed. And when they pulled in, they basically got the jump on them then.
Are there any burn marks? Were the bodies found in the truck or outside the truck?
Those were found outside of the truck, and yes, you don't see any kind of burn marks per se, but it looks like it's near around the underside of near the underside of the right hand. It would be the passenger side of the truck in the back, where it's you actually see the metal has warped just a little bit on the underside.
The right-hand side, huh? The truck's not trying to bud, is it?
No, it's not. But if that's like, but you would think, but it's kind of warped inward, like it was exposed to a fairly extreme heat.
Okay.
How
far were the bodies of the two thieves found from the back of the truck?
The first one was only about. It's actually the first one. It was actually. That you can actually identify right now from the reports was found right underneath the back. That's like the back wheel well. So essentially, where you're seeing that's like the warping of the metal that's underneath it. And the other one was also the one that you found right now was probably about 5 or 6 feet away, with it going towards that's like where the SUV was parked.
So close enough that they could have like thrown the back door open, gotten subject to some sort of effect from the inside of the bed, and then fallen out.
Yes, so that is a potential possibility. So one of them, definitely looks like they might have fallen. So during that time, although unfortunately, it's like as far as you can tell, there was no other blunt force trauma that could have caused a death. And as the corpses were in that current state, it's unidentifiable at this point.
You said there was.
Go ahead, Rubens.
You said there was some findings or forensics that they had that we can go through.
Yes. So the information that you found so far for this is that they were. It's like they did get some tire impressions from the SUV, so they could get the general model of what they're in. So we were looking, and they brought that along, the information. So they're running through that right now. But you should have it by the end. So inside, they did end up finding one blood stain. So that was a little bit odd. It looks like one of them might have cut themselves along the along one of the larger straps when it was being pulled off. So since most of these would have been incredibly tight to make sure that the harpsichord itself wasn't fallen. So but the one other thing that they did find on there, which is a little bit odd, appears to be some of the sheet music that was actually being transported along with it. There was what appeared to be a small. You can actually see pictures that were taken and provided by the museum before, as insurance purposes before transport. That there was a very small pine sheet music box. That looked like it was fully intact, but if it was where it was placed next to the harpsichord, it looks like they just kind of ripped that out, and there's like half a corner of a page of music that's taken out from it.
Is there anything on the sheet?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Same question as Agent Lars. Is there anything on the sheet?
Okay. Yeah, actually, it looks like the last 4 bars of some sort of composition. Obviously, it's actually that's like full corded for a harpsichord. So, but from this, you can actually look as you're looking there. You actually do see that it is signed from whoever composed this. Let's see, looking from there, Nicholas Abertois.
Does that name ring any bells for me?
You can make a history check on that if you'd like.
Yes.
Okay.
2960.
960. Okay. Yep. It's a little bit of an odd that's like thing to see in there too, but you do recognize the name as a 18th century composer who lived in Paris and primarily did compositions for the harpsichord itself, but was known for doing odd work. Specifically, he was obsessed with what he called pure harmony. That every note that he produced specifically had to have a integration, essentially, what he called it, in order to be in order to be able to be understood. And so with some of his works, he was just very adamant about the fact that that he had to have perfect harmony from everybody else, or else a quote that was interesting from him: discordant tones will rip apart the universe.
Okay. Are we looking at the actual page?
Yeah, you're looking at the fragment of the page that was there, so it has been it's been tagged and evidenced.
Okay. Does it look plausibly with Archaeology 50? Does it look plausibly like a 200-year-old sheet music?
You said you had Archaeology 50?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. This thing looks authentic. So, and it's not, and it is not a big problem when you're looking at it to quickly search through the records back at the Met, and you can even look this thing online and see like, oh, it's there. So
Okay.
This was actually something that was on display with the harpsichord itself.
Okay. Well, I let the agents know my findings until they start to nod off, and then I stop talking.
Okay, so. All right, but yeah, that's at least the biggest thing right now that you were finding from there. It's like finding from the sheet. It looks like there was at least part of that was recovered. So, and a little bit more odd information.
Was there a lot of sheet music with the harpsichord, or?
Yeah, it looks like there were about 5 different pieces. Us like that 5 different musical compositions that were all stacked together, each of those ranging in total from about 50 pages total.
Okay.
All by Abattoir?
Yes. So it looked like this. It's like when it was donated to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This is the music that it was packaged with. So.
And the 2 that were taken hostage says there was a buzzing noise that they heard. Is that correct?
That is correct. That they heard what appeared to be a high-pitched buzzing noise too. That it actually did rupture their eardrums. So it was. They were taken to the hospital, and they are being kept they're currently being kept for observation. But they are. That's like in a state right now where it did cause inner ear damage.
And none of the glass in the truck shattered, right?
Nope, none of the glass shattered at that. There is no apparent damage to any of the physical objects around due to the noise that they said they heard.
The buzzing, did it sound like it could have came from the instrument, or did it sound more like a buzzsaw kind of thing?
It just was a high-pitched buzz, so it didn't. From what they've gotten from them, they couldn't closely identify it because of the fact that it was. They were also locked in the bathroom of this rest stop, so and any of the noise was, despite the fact that they were so close, was diffused by the building itself.
So, hold on, just so I make sure I understand the timeline. So, truck is stopped at the rest stop. Thieves roll up, bundle the driver and the guard into the restroom, lock them in.
Mm-hmm.
At some point later, there's a loud buzzing sound.
Yep, it's usually within about 10 minutes. So as the thief with the timeline, as the thieves are attempting to get that off, and that's like, and when they heard it drive off.
So is it in the interview notes? Is it noted? You said there was damage to the back end, like it had been cut open, or you know, like the roller. Did the driver and the guard in the bathroom hear that?
Yes, they did hear that. So,
Okay.
since that was prior to it, prior to the noise and the deaths.
And the blood that is in the truck, I'm assuming that they're doing a DNA check for it.
They are, so, but of course that's going to take time to be able to get back anything. So,
Okay.
so you're probably, if you're lucky, that's probably about a day or two out.
How much blood are we talking about? Like, is it a plausible I cut my hand amount of blood?
Yes, it is. So, if nothing else, it looks like it was something along a sharper object. A sharper object. So, could have been a knife. Could have been something else.
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, if they blew their eardrums, it's unlikely that we could replay some of the music for them to see if it sounded like anything that they heard, of course, on a higher level.
Yeah, so as of right now, that would probably not be something that could be available to them at the moment. And as of right now, you have about just you have basically a measure, maybe about a measure and a half of music. So
the harpsichord was being transported folded up, right?
That is correct. So,
and in order to play the harpsichord, just going by the picture that we're looking at, you would have to unfold it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have to be unfolded in order to play it.
Okay.
How long would it take to unfold it?
Not very long, too. It's if you're not being that careful, the full assembly of it would take less than 2 minutes. So, and that's just making sure everything is connected into it. Connected to make sure that it is hooked up to it's like the arms that will pluck each of the strings.
Is it possible to use these few chords, knowing that they're maybe near the end of a piece, to research which particular piece they would have been from?
Yeah. Like I said, that would be a very difficult historical role, but you do have a historian on here and online access, so that would not be out of the realm of possibility.
I think we should consider that. It may lead us somewhere.
Okay.
Sure.
So, all right. But as of right now, that's probably about as much as you can pull from the truck itself. Too. Are there any other questions? What do you want to make while you're here at the police station?
Is this the same police station that the cop at the house would be based out of?
Yes. So this is just within. This is with Silver Springs, Maryland. So it's fairly small.
Do you guys want to go brace his sergeant?
I was thinking very hard, but very silently. Write down badge number. Write down badge number. I never actually said it though.
Do you want to make a luck roll?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's say low, because high hasn't worked out for me so well today.
Okay.
04.
04. Okay. Yeah. Yep. That's like you did with that badge number. So if you want to try to utilize a persuade, I'll say that will allow a persuade check. If you want to try to talk to that's like the sergeant.
Sure. Do you want to do that, Agent Lars?
Sure, yeah, I'll approach him, try to be all nice, if I could just get the report of that break-in or possible break-in, that would help us out with our case.
Okay. Yeah, you get to the sergeant. Looks like it's like a very no-nonsense woman, short haircut, in her late 40s, just kind of look completely overworked and underpaid, just sitting there going like, all right, let's see about that. That's like, so you say that you're from. Can I see your badge again? You said you're from the FBI.
Yeah, I'll show her my badge.
Okay. And you're investigating that local. You're investigating that robbery that occurred out off of the highway?
Yes.
Okay. So, if you're thinking this guy's right now, I might be able to do it. Go ahead and make a persuasion check, but you can get a +10 on that since you do have the information for his badge.
Okay, that would be a 49 out of 60.
All right, so that does it. Yeah, so the sergeant, Sergeant Worms, Says, yeah. Let me see. He should have already registered the information for the case report from his car. So, let's see. So he pulls the information up from that. Looked like that this was just a regular kind of break-in. Miss Anderson, the woman at the scene, stated that the person who was coming got into her house seems to be confused about the fact that he thought he lived there, was screaming about other people that supposedly that's like were living at this house, didn't recognize them, and then bolted.
Okay.
And so they did notice that at least one odd thing right now that apparently when he broke into the house he was naked. So which is which is not unheard of, unfortunately, but we've definitely seen that before. Like I said, she didn't get a really good look at him since it was in the dark, and she was just saying that she thought his voice sounded familiar, but that's about as much as we could get.
And they don't have security cameras or a ring camera or anything like that.
No, so they do not.
And this was mentioned earlier. The gentleman who attempted the break-in had the Mechanist tattoo.
That is correct. So at least for the APP, for what she she turned on the light and saw him going away. There appeared to be that he did have a Mechanist tattoo, and you have the full report. That it was noted that tattoo was on his wrist.
And the same tattoo as that we found from the guy in the morgue.
That is from Budding Man, yes.
Oh, did they get her husband's name? I say husband. Did they get the man who was in that picture, who I presume to be her husband's name?
No, they did not. So,
this is a little bit weird in character, but can you guys might want to ask the sergeant if you can get that. Presumably, it's pretty easy to pull the house.
Yeah. Were there any other people that live in the house?
Let's see. For that one, I'll say the information. So they were asking about that. Yes, she actually did note that her brother used to live with her. His name is Daryl Anderson. But she states that she has not seen him at least within 3 years. That he had some run-ins with the law. And that he had not been able. They had been out of contact with each other for quite a long time.
I'm gonna ask the sergeant. Does his department know anything about Daryl Anderson?
There's they kind of pull up the information locally, but there's nothing here. So it looks like that if that's like his, if he had any criminal record, it was outside of the DC metro area.
Okay.
So you might be able to pull something on. You might be able to try to pull up something on the local federal databases later on, but at least locally, you won't be able to get it here. So,
gotcha.
While you're talking to these guys, do they have any information about Mechanist?
Oh yeah,
hideouts, but gathering places or contacts.
It's like, where have you been going with these? So
I just imagine that he's just like. Me and Drake are standing like shoulder to shoulder, and Rich is like standing behind us, just like kind of crouching down, whispering like, "Ask about that. Ask about this."
He's our Cyrano.
Oh yeah, it's like,
yeah, that's right.
Give me crime information. So
it's more like, excuse me, I have tenure. Can you answer my question?
You're a special consultant. You can stand up with us.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, no, you do actually about that information too. That actually something like that is more akin to the. Unfortunately, as desk sergeant, she wouldn't have a lot of information on that. That's usually a special crimes task force that's locally that's actually overseen by the larger DC Metro Police Department. So if you're willing to look at that information, that's going to be more akin to theirs. Also, that's more on the lines of federal too, since like the Mechanist from your side right now are known as essentially high art thieves. So that would be far more within your jurisdiction.
Okay.
And thinking back to the morgue with the budding gentleman, Was enough of the budded one emerged that we could have seen whether it also had a tattoo on its wrist?
That's unfortunately no, because it was on the left-hand side, and he was butting outside of his right. So basically, the left-hand side of the butting side right now, the arm wasn't formed yet.
So just when we're in a safe spot to chat, the one that was growing out, he didn't have the scar, but we don't know if he did or didn't have the tattoo. Potentially lived here because we saw his picture in the house. I wonder if that's related. This is getting weird.
That's true. So it is,
Yeah.
Matt. And by the way, Brownie, I'm saying this right now. I just saw your chat. Fuck you.
You chose the name Daryl. It's Daryl, his brother Daryl, and his other brother Daryl.
for all like three of us ancient people who remember the Bob Newhart show.
I'm sure there are other ancient people out there. It's fine.
All ancient at 37. Yep. So.
I would bet that the Venn diagram between people who play Delta Green and people who are familiar with the Newhart show is pretty close to a circle.
Oh my god. When I talk to Glancy the next time, I'm going to mention that just to see. I know for Ken Height that's going to be a definite yes, but I need to know about that anyway.
Glancy will know it. It's fine.
Oh, I know. It's just you throw a punch at me. Anyway, but yeah. So you have. So at least the information that you have from this right now is that you do have a clear idea on ID on at least the person and the herb, and the possibility that it is that it's like there might be a connection to one of the other mechanist thieves that you found within the morgue.
Well, it sounds like the next thing we need to do is track down somebody who deals with the mechanist. I don't know if we want to go directly for them. Maybe some of their associates, some people they fence with.
Okay, that's information that you can at least research tonight too, because it's getting pretty late. So you wouldn't be able to pull out all the information from that. But yeah, I will say for that can be either the contacts on that can either be criminology, or I would say, let's see, criminology, bureaucracy. Add a negative, or law if you're trying to find just general information of potential contacts or snitches, essentially informants that have come forward in the past.
I would say probably criminology on that one for me.
Okay, so Ruben or James, is something you'd like to roll for that?
I have a 70 in criminology.
Okay.
And that's an 80.
And okay. Yeah, so if you kind of burned on your contacts right now, so Drake, you want to make your roll?
Yep. Oh, exactly 50, which is my criminology score.
All right, so just getting into the contacts. Yeah, so basically, I normally would have not have made you roll on that, but this is actually getting in contacts with an area that you might not be used to. So, but yeah, for criminology, you do know that fence-wise, there are several high art buyers local to the DC metro area that usually have been known to. That's like buy from them in the past. There is one who is kind of burned right now. Because of this, because of previous contacts, and is known to work with the FBI. This case, Rich, I don't think you've named any of our contacts yet. So what is the name of our fence contact?
Abdul Severio.
Abdul Severio. That's great. I love that name.
So you can thank the random number or the random name generator I just clicked on.
Okay, hey, you did it. Like I said, I apologize. I take Ross's. I have inherited Ross's lazy habit of forcing other players to name characters for me. So
it's good for engagement. Don't stop.
Yeah, thank you. I blame my own laziness in Ross. So
I do the same thing
with Ross. So all right. So Abdul Savario. So he is. That's like so he is the local contact from you. But he is pretty much somebody else who at least is give general information about overall the FBI's example. So you can contact him in the morning if you want to. So you basically place a message on there, and you get a text back saying, "I will talk to you. Meet me at this cafe," and that's like at this time.
So that night, while we have a little bit of time, I will try to do the pattern matching between the snippet of sheet music and Abattoir's other pieces to figure out if we can tell which piece that came from.
Okay, absolutely. So that'll be a history roll. So, and since you actually do have I will say, since you actually do have a piece of his, one of his arrangements to make a comparison, that will give you a +10 to that roll.
55 out of 60 or 70 with the +10 is a critical success.
That absolutely is a critical success. So, luckily enough, it's like you are with the access to that you were given both over to the Met and the Smithsonian's musical databases. You actually do find that not only the piece that this arrangement is from, the very end of it, but actually a name and a production time. This was made. The name of this piece is called. This is actually. What was it called? Oh, I had the name here. Darn it. This is the computer literally saying this to you. I had it. I know it. Why was there going to be this? So
Clippy's evolved quite a bit.
it is. It actually did. It's an odd name for this one. It's called Aspects of Discord. And as far as you can tell in the history, because again, all of his pieces were very obsessed with the fact of creating a perfect joined harmony that allowed everything to complement each other in a way where it would just create a tone that's what we consider a perfect tone from whatever instrument he was playing. So obviously this particular one was ranged for a harpsichord. But Aspects of Discord seems to be different. It's something that he, one of his later pieces in life, that the history notes that he felt that he could not come to terms with his own personal fallacies, the differences in the music that he was producing, because he didn't. Seeking perfection was so stressful to him. So this was an outlet to give voice to all the disagreeing parts of the notes that he was putting onto the page. So basically, and as you look through it, all of the music in this one, it just seems to be rampant discordant measures in every single time. And as you actually play it actually has a recorded snippet of it, because the song itself goes on for about 6 to 10 minutes. But yeah, it basically sounds like what you would imagine imagine a Godspeed You Black Emperor album if it had been made in the 18th century and played on harpsichord.
And not to forget, discordant tones will destroy the universe.
Right.
Yes. So it's very odd right now that there is a page specifically to this that seems so antithetical to his primary goal in life, and to create this.
Okay. Well, when we meet up for coffee in the morning, I pull my phone out and I put it on the table and press play without saying anything, and just at max volume play the song and say, "This is it."
Do we know
Oh,
how?
that is terrible.
Do we know how? What was his name? Nicholas died.
So in this, for Nicholas Abattoir, no, he's, well, actually, I do take that back. So, historical records show, that he ended up contracting that's like some virus. They believe it to be scarlet fever, is what eventually ended his life.
It's not even one of the prestigious ones.
Nope, it's just. So,
Couldn't have been
yeah,
syphilis, huh?
You didn't get syphilis like a respectable person.
Not all of us could be Mozart. So, no, but yeah, he just and unfortunately it seemed that he had a very mundane death. So, but I will say there's one other thing, history, and because you got the critical success, I will allow this. There was a rumor, an odd thing that came up about it, that even though they said that it's like he obviously did die and there was a body. That's reports that's like said that they could somehow they thought they saw his face within the crowd of mourners at his funeral. But obviously this is not that, so it was just either somebody who looked very much like him or maybe a relation who came from far away.
Aaron, are we going to find out what really happened with Elvis?
You can, but then Nyarlathotep comes for you.
Okay, well.
So if you want to, that's your choice. It is a choice.
And did you say scarlet fever?
Scarlet fever, yes.
Okay.
There is one check I was wondering if I could make tonight, and I was seeing if I could pull the reports for Daryl Anderson on the federal database.
Yeah, you can go ahead and make that roll.
Would that be a bureaucracy or criminology?
I will say for that's either going to be a bureaucracy or law roll.
Let's go bureaucracy at 40. That's a 10.
10? Okay. Yeah, you were able to pull up that information. It looks like a Daryl Anderson, aged 43, is known. That's primarily known for issues of grand larceny, so primarily within the art world. Although he has been known to be, he was actually arrested for larceny issues specifically related to corporate raiding. So, although that was a older charge that is that was set back in the early 2000s. So, but he is currently one of the relations on there. He specifically. The last time he was arrested, he was brought in for attempting to steal Van Gogh paintings. So, and then fence those off while in Denmark, and he was caught by Interpol. So, and that actually brings up the last information that you can see from him, because as far as the system knows, he should actually still be in Interpol custody.
When was that?
That was recorded back in 2010.
Was there any known hiding places that he had in the DC area?
The only places they can't say any hiding places in specifically. They do mention the Mechanist, but the only current contact that they are bringing with this is a gentleman by the name of Sebastian Harrelson.
That was a contact that he had?
That was the contact they had, and that appears to be a former member of the machinist who turned into a informant. So he currently he apparently is currently running a securities firm job within the DC metro area.
Okay.
10 years in Interpol custody, huh?
So
wow.
So yeah, apparently they did not. They took a dim view on his. On his whatever he just on stealing Van Gogh paintings. So, but in all honesty, if you steal Van Gogh paintings, you're kind of a piece of shit anyway. So, and not to say this because I've actually been in front of one, and it kind of took my breath away. So,
also just big intentions there going after a Van Gogh.
Yeah, so in reality, I think that I'm kind of ripping that from the headline, because I think it was only like last year there was a Van Gogh that was stolen. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to take a look.
There was a big Van Gogh exhibit when I was in Europe a couple years ago. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, no, I got lucky. I got to see some of his. I this is off to the side right now, but my mom is very jealous that I actually got to be in next to Starry Night. So.
Oh.
So she's. It was over at Momo when I went to New York the first time. So actually, I take that back. The one she's jealous of is they actually had the original Scream there at the time too. So, which is her all-time favorite painting. So
that one just creeps me out.
I love a lot of Edward Munch's stuff. So which another odd digression too, but they actually had his vampire painting there too, which is one of the more beautiful and kind of disturbing ones. So, and ironically, the vampire bloodlines, they actually put that painting all over the place because it was an easy art asset. So, but that's slight digression. So, all right, but yeah, that's about as much as you can probably do in the evening too. So, this will probably be a good time for a brief break if anybody wants to get go to the bathroom and get drinks. So, I'll be right back, and
Cool.
we'll go into day 2. So. All right, just about that. I'm back right now. I guess what you guys know.
I'm here.
Okay, good.
I'm here as well.
Okay, cool. There. So, all right. So, enjoying the game so far?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, all right.
Yeah, I like the idea of the Discord music and the imagery of the bodies. Pretty horrific.
Okay. So, I haven't been in any sand checks yet, but I kind of, like I said, they're coming. So, the situations. So, all right. Oh, there's one there. Oh, cool. So, all right, cool, Brandon. Yeah, no, that's if I ever have to go to the Netherlands, so when travel can become a little bit safer.
Yeah, this was a few years ago. It was an awesome trip.
Oh no, I imagine. So that Amsterdam is one of the places I'd love to go. So, all right, Richard, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Just make sure before that. So, all right, but yeah, all of you guys wake up, and you. That's like as you're turning on the news, you do. That's like actually get hit with a interesting report. Specifically, you see your buddy, Daryl Anderson. His mugshot is showing up on the news as the police are declaring a manhunt for him.
That's interesting considering they have his corpse in the morgue.
It is too, since they're at least looking at that that information. Because you assume that information is only known. But yeah, it looks like he has. That's like last night he ended up breaking into a That's like a used car lot. So vandalizing it, and then ended up murdering the guard that was
he
there.
still naked?
At the time, it looks like the car. He may have been, because the guard's clothes are missing. So
Well, that sounds like a vector we need to contain.
So this is. So they're not certain where he is going, but he is considered to be armed and dangerous.
Did the news say if he took a specific car?
Yeah. It's like it did not say that information, but you have you have access over to the police department, so that information is easily obtainable. Looks like he ended up taking a 1996 Saturn Ion. Actually, sorry, Saturn SL Ions were out yet. Red.
Well, not too many of those left on the road, so that should be a little easier to spot.
So, yeah, depending on the situation, but yeah, it looks like there is a manhunt for him at this moment.
What time was the break-in?
It looks like it was around 3 a.m. in the morning.
And it's like, what, 7:30, 8 o'clock now?
Yeah, so it has not been that long.
Well, except he could be, I don't know, 150, 200 miles away by now?
True. So that is, it's like, yeah, so unfortunately, yeah, so that's why they are kind of canvassing the area as much as they can too, but they are under the concern, like I said, they are primarily concerned right now that he might already be gone or out of the state.
Or hiding with his friend Sebastian.
That is true. So that could be another contact at this point, or you can find out what that is. But yeah, so you do have a couple other. So you do have your meeting with the head of the. That's like the music history department over the Smithsonian today. That's in a couple hours. Also, you have a couple other contacts too. You have Abdul Savaria, which is our fence contact. As well as Sebastian, who is one of the other informant contacts as well. And you have different areas that you can research them. So where would you like to go?
I mean, normally this isn't how I would prioritize it, but it seems like maybe we should go to Sebastian's first.
Agreed.
Okay. So, yeah. So you that's like end up getting. So the contact information is pretty easy for him to give because you actually look at the FBI database and see that he is that's like that he has actually still on the list for them. So you get an address to a DC. That's the DC offices downtown. Let's see, what would be I think Charles, you haven't done this in a while. So what's the name of the securities firm that he works for?
Rain Security.
Range Security or Rain Security?
Rain.
All right, as in like rain over me?
Yeah.
Okay.
As in like make it rain?
Yeah.
Make it Rain Security.
Make it Rain Security. Oh, God. Make it Rain Security. Yeah, I got it. So,
do we also have a cell number on this guy?
Let's see. For that, since that's under usually up for investigations right now, I'm not sure they would handle that. So I would say if you're wanting that, let's see. What's your bureaucracy score, Drake?
That would be a 40.
A 40? Let me see on that. Yeah, I will say that right now for your card investigation, you can get that. So, but you might owe a favor later to whoever you're doing this. But yeah, you do have a cell phone number that you can give that you can contact him with now.
So, guys, I think we should go down to his building and give him a call and tell him he really doesn't want the feds coming in and asking about him at his place of business. He should just come down and talk to us. What do you think?
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay. I agree. It does create the possibility that if Daryl is hiding out there, he bolts while Sebastian comes down to talk to us.
I think one of us or two of us should cover his house and the other one should be at his place of business. What do you think?
As long as I'm not alone, I think that sounds great.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to, you can either cover which one if you want it before you make the phone calls there. But as of right now, if you're going to cover both of those, somebody will be alone.
I can go with Rich to the house just to make sure nothing's going on there.
Okay.
And I can go be threatening at his place of business.
Okay. Although I will say, this is, you do have the cell phone information too. I will allow everybody else, if you want to make an intelligence ×5 roll, or if anybody has SIGINT, then I will allow them to roll that instead.
All right, rolling intelligence. 32 out of 55.
32?
Yeah, 37 out of 65 on intelligence.
Okay, and Drake?
57 of 70.
77. Okay. You all realize that, like, if you, that's like, since you have the phone number information and you're not sure if it's there, you can technically, it's like you can technically do a trace on it, a location trace on it, if necessary. This is a guy who has acted as an informant, so the FBI more than likely is going to be keeping tabs on him that way.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll see if I can call that in, see if I can get a trace.
Okay, so since you know that information from that, I will say either that's going to be a law or a bureaucracy roll, and if somebody wants to roll to assist him for a +10, they can do that.
I can assist with bureaucracy.
Okay, yeah, I have a 40.
Okay, so before you
I
make your
also
roll,
have a 40.
okay, so yeah, Drake, make your roll first.
24.
24?
Under
Okay.
40.
All right, excellent. So you have a 50 on your bureaucracy roll.
All right. That's a 16.
16. All right, that succeeds. So, yeah, you have the information, and that's when you do notice something differently. That cell phone is neither at home nor is it at. That's like at. That's like his place of business. It is in downtown DC, and it appears to be heading straight for some warehouse district in the a warehouse district over on the far side of the city.
Okay, I have a good idea where we should be going next.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. So,
Out of curiosity, does our fence operate out of that area or no?
For that side, yes, it does. It's like Abdul is actually, you compare addresses, and Abdul does run a small importing business on, that's like within the warehouse district in DC.
How far away? So Silver Spring to downtown DC at 8:30 in the morning is a lengthy drive.
It is. So
is it worth it for our FBI agents to call DCPD and get him pulled over?
Yeah, you can try to do that if you want to. That will be another law check to see if you, I say law or bureaucracy, to see if you can get them to do that. So, but this, actually, I take that back, since that would not be a lead on there. So, because there is a manhunt going through there, so you could basically state that this is part of that investigation. So, but that'll take a persuade check or a bureaucracy check. Otherwise, you get there when you get there, or or if somebody has drive, you can try to pull some stunts on the metro.
Would public transit be faster?
Sorry, I meant to say metro. I meant on the highway. So basically, driving in a way right now that's unsafe or unbecoming of a civilian vehicle.
Drake, would you want to try and call that in, see if we can get them or get him pulled over? Buy some time.
Yeah, would that be bureaucracy?
I would say a bureaucracy or persuade check.
My persuade's better. Let's see here. 21 under 50.
21 under 50. Okay, yeah. That's like, notice that you believe that there is a potential contact, or at least a link right now. A person of interest to talk to when tracking down Daryl. So you put the police, the Washington D.C. Metro decides to go ahead and put it out on all points bulletin specifically for to get this guy in for questioning. So, so that at least should pull some time. You can head to the DC area, and they will let you know en route if they end up grabbing him.
Okay.
So, all right. So yeah, you start taking down. It's like, all right. Are you doing anything else before you're heading out?
Not I.
Okay. So, Drake, Ruben, or sorry, James.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So, all right. They have. So as you're going through, so you're driving out. It's honestly not about like 15 minutes. And you do have the radio reports. That's like you have the your police scanners going off, and lo and behold, they are noting shots fired. And are calling for police backup, specifically around that's like the address area of Abdul Savario, and it is noting that that's like one of the vehicles that's on. They believe that the suspect is on site, $40 Anderson, and has identified the 1995 red Saturn.
Can we also do a little bit of driving unbecoming of a civilian vehicle?
All right, yeah, if you want to do that. So who has the highest drive?
I have a 50.
I've
50?
also got a 50.
50?
Both higher than mine.
So, all right. So yeah, this is basically just gonna be one. That's like this is just gonna be a one roll situation too. Basically, this will tell you where you're getting in on the situation since you're going running down there. So, I will say Drake or who's driving.
Let me take this one.
All right.
Okay.
That is a 08 under 50.
Okay. So let's say don't say 100.
No.
I have never had a TPK due to a car accident. I don't want to start now. So that so okay. But we had all right. So yeah, you managed to get there. So as right now, this basically just allows you to get through traffic. Thankfully, you've made the notification so that the police are actually not stopping you as you're getting through there. And you arrive there as apparently a hostage situation is taking place. So there are at least 3 other police vehicles around. You do see the Saturn that is overturned. So, as well as another vehicle that has the "Make It Rain" logo on the side. So, and you have at least and a couple sergeants look like a captain that are out there giving around orders.
All right, we'll get out, and I'm gonna approach someone that looks like to be in charge, like the sergeant, and see what the exact situation is.
Okay. Looks around. So flashes badge. Like, oh good God. So, do you know what the hell's going? It's like, we've just got the other. We managed to corner him as he was coming around there, but he seemed to like know everybody else is going to be here. I don't know what's going on. So he has 2 hostages in there. The guy who was pulling up. That's like right around the time we showed up on the scene, and then the guy in the building who apparently owns this place.
Do you have names on the hostages?
So yeah. There's just 2 in there right now. One of them, it's like the license registration right now is to one Sebastian Harrelson of that company, and the other guy is an Abdul Savario.
These are known associates.
So at this point, I don't know much information right now. So that's like the guy who is these 2 have just been taken hostage.
No, I'm saying these are known associates. This may not be a hostage situation.
So that's like how do you know?
Part of an investigation.
Jesus Christ! So we don't need a full-on gangline shootout at this point. So, damn it. Okay. That's like we're trying to make. That's like we did try to make a call into the side right now. Savario called. That's like answered the call, but said don't come in. So that that Anderson has guns on has a gun on everybody and is demanding. That's like demanding to speak to his wife.
Daryl did.
Yes. So
And his wife is not Sarah, that's his sister, correct?
that is correct. Yes.
Did we find a name of Daryl's wife when you guys did the background check?
No, you did not.
Okay.
As far as you know, he is completely single and has been for his entire life.
Okay.
Did he give a number or anything or is he trying to call from inside the building?
He is calling from inside the building. Basically, they're using Abdul's. They were calling into from Abdul's cell phone.
We want to try to call Sebastian.
You can. So yeah, if you want to give that a try.
All right, yeah. Well, I'll pull out burner phone and give him a call.
Okay. So, it rings for several times. Goes over to a voicemail. You get the same one. Hey, this is Sebastian Hudson from Make It Rain Security. That's like, if you want to make it rain in my account right now, give him a call back. So horrible. But that's like, it goes to safe. You hang up the phone, and then it immediately rings back.
Answer.
So, and you hear a very timid voice over there. Hello, I can't really talk loud, or else he'll hear. Who is this?
We're with the police outside. We are. Is this Sebastian?
Yeah. This is Sebastian Harrison.
Okay.
So it's like he's so I don't it's like I don't know what's going on. This this is a guy that I know who shouldn't be here. So it's kind of confusing. So I heard he was dead.
Hold up a piece of paper in front of Officer Lars. Has he ever been married?
Has he ever been married?
So, so with this right now, are you asking the officer, is he been married, or are you asking us about
I'm asking
Daryl?
Sebastian.
Oh, you're asking
Daryl.
Sebastian. Okay.
Yeah. We heard he's trying to contact his wife.
Yeah, I don't get that flunking right now. So no, he slept around, but there's like nobody he's been around with. But that's not even the important thing right now. I think he might be sick.
Why you say that?
Because he has this weird growth on the side of his body, and it just looks unhealthy. Like I can't even call it a rash. It looks like a shell that's just really it's like really purple and really unhealthy looking.
Okay. What's he doing right now?
He's just pacing back and forth. He's dragging Savario with him because he came. I came here because I thought. I came here because I got a call from him saying that he was panicked about something that he was. A job that he was doing, and and then once I got here right now, he was panicking again. He wouldn't talk. He wasn't talking any sense, and then and then Daryl showed up looking. Looking like a freak show.
What was Abdul talking about that didn't make sense?
So apparently the other two. That's like that he was supposed to be getting some apparently some hot item that he wasn't. That's like from a museum piece or whatnot. It went bad, and they. That's and that the others decided to book without him. That he had tried. That's like that he was trying to get something underneath the table too, because being a snitch is not helping him at all. And then he took. And they never showed up.
So, sorry, out of character. This is Abdul's place, right?
Yes, this is his place of business.
Right. Okay. So I scribble a note and that says, "Ask if the harpsichord is there. Ask if he sees a harpsichord."
This is gonna be an odd question, but do you see a harpsichord around there?
What the fuck's a harpsichord?
Or a big folded wooden box.
Big wooden box.
Big wooden box may look like folded on itself.
I no, I don't see anything here like that.
Okay.
So that's I don't know. I like I said, I don't see anything else other than just like crates.
Oh,
Okay.
Well,
So-
Can you hear what Daryl and Abdul are talking about?
Shit. Okay, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna try to, but I don't know what's going to happen. So just give me a second. That's like you can see that on the other side of the line, he's muted his mic. So, or at least it goes pretty silent for a second. So, and before he says like, don't say a damn word, okay?
Okay.
Just not a goddamn word. So,
I'm gonna
but
mute my end of the phone. So
okay,
nothing.
yeah. So just mutes in, and he puts on like his speaker, so at least getting him more audio. As you're moving, he kind of moves around the corner. You can see him snap. You can hear him. He just hear a voice that two been arguing, although one of those voices sounds really rough. So like it's like his vocal cords, and for lack of a better term, are creating the different tones going back and forth. So if you can make out words, but in all honesty, it's a little bit disturbing and a little bit hard to listen to. But the two-tone voice you keep hearing is saying, I need to find out where Cheryl is. I need to find home. I woke up on the side of the goddamn highway, and nobody knows who I am. And another voice you can hear, Abdul, just saying, I don't know. I don't know about any of this. The others, it's like we're supposed to show up with the it's like show up to make the drop off so I could sell it to our buyer, and they told me to they told me that they were not dealing with this, and that they were running off with it. So I don't know what is going on anymore. So I can't even get a hold of them. They've dropped their phones. They burned it. I don't get it. The other voice, Daryl specifically, starts yelling like, I need to understand where I'm at. You're supposed to be my friends, God damn it! And at that point, the tone becomes so discordant and loud, the phone just shuts off. You hear like what a whine, and it seems like the signal disconnects.
Okay. Can we hear this outside the building?
Yeah, and everybody can take a small sound check as you hear a tone, basically a sound go off that and talking about those two tones, have you ever heard of the like Mongolian throat singers who can actually create two diatonic tones in their voice?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that amped up to 11. Everybody clutches their ears. So go ahead and make those sound rolls.
Pass.
Ought to pass.
I'll too.
Crit success, 55.
Jesus, Drake. All right, so yeah, Drake is the only one who apparently was wearing ear guards, and because he was anticipating coming into a firefight, so in her ear. Everybody else, like even if you pass, go ahead and take one, just because it hurts so much it feels like it's rattling your bones. So, and the police are looking at each other. There's a couple that you can actually see them on the ground. That it literally disorients them, and they're looking around like, "What was that?"
I look to the other guys. We should probably head in there.
Yeah, firearms out, no better time.
Yep.
All right. So, yep. They've done that. Just like they're still calling in SWAT at this point, but they do have a marked entrance where they can get in, where they think he is not. It's like it's not being viewed, which is one of the warehouse loading dock entrances. So, all right. Are you
FBI
gonna?
issue 9mm, Aaron?
Yeah. Everybody is, as far as I'm concerned, unless you say something different, you're all carrying Glocks. So.
I am not, but
Okay.
Yeah, the two federal agents, I'm sure are. Yeah.
True. So, are you? So that's being questioned right now, James. Are you going in with them, or are you staying out here?
I can't imagine they would let me go in with them.
Okay.
Do you want my extra piece?
You don't want me behind you with a gun.
All right.
So, with that, then
Just
okay,
text me when it's secure, and I'll follow you in.
fair enough. So, all right, but yeah, so this will be that's like you're getting in. It's like approaching the building right now, and you're trying to be stealthy about that too. So, go ahead and make stealth rolls.
New?
Nope. That's a crit fail.
Normal fail.
All right. So you crit normal failure on that. All right. So what ends up happening then is that you're trying to make the quietest approach as you can, but as you're at the door, you find the release for the dock right now, but it just is on a catch spring that basically pulls it all the way up automatically, so it just makes the largest amount of noise. And from that's like you hear you hear a voice going on like no 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 and 2 gunshots. So somebody else is out, and then you hear that voice that just rattled everybody's skulls starting to approach. It's like foot steps running towards them, running towards the door. So
our way.
Yes, right towards your way. So you have. I'm gonna say that you basically have another chance to be able to get out of shot. So I'm gonna say this is one more stealth check, but because of the critical failure on for that, it's going to be a -10 on both sides. So
Okay, I cannot make that.
you can't make it at all. Okay, so
Yeah, did not,
right.
cannot.
Okay, so it just means unfortunately you won't have you will be seen right now and won't have any particular cover. So, but the police are behind you, and as you turn around, you it's like see it's like you actually do see Daryl. The one side of his face, you actually do recognize it as him, or at least from the other body, because you see that scar over his eye, and you can actually see the left-hand side where that mechanist tattoo is, or machinist tattoo is. But the other half of his side seems to be covered with some sort of raw purplish carapace
And opening
seems to have all sorts of for lack of a better term, wires, very like golden or brass looking wires that are stringing along the side of the arms and down the chest. So, and he looks panicked and just it's like he sees the guns pulled out, but he is it's like from this, but he is tries to put his arms up. But you said that you're opening fire.
Yep.
All right, so okay, we're in combat now. So go ahead, and he is scared. He is not making an attack on you yet. He's only about that's like he's within medium range too. So basically, about 10 or 20 yards away. Go ahead and make your your firearms check.
Does Daryl have a gun on him?
Not that you can see. So it does not look like he is carrying any gun, or if he did, he dropped it.
Well, I think we're still justified in this. 22 under, what is it, 50?
Holy shit! So, oh my god. Okay, so, are you rolling in the dice rolling app?
No, I can if you want me to.
No, that's fine. So it's I forgot it was the marble dice, I guess. All right. So yeah, that's going to be so that's going to be double damage on there because you ended up getting there. So let's see. This is a typical pistol, so that's 1d10.
Yep. That looks like a 10.
All right. Oh, so 10, so 20. Oh. Holy shit. Okay. So, go ahead. So that does hit regardless, but I need you to make a luck roll.
All right, let's go low because low was good for me earlier, and that's a 50. So you can tell me if that's what that counts on.
50. So luck rolls, I believe that is So low. Let me see.
I believe that's low because that's 1 through 50, and then
I
51
think 1 through 50. I believe you're correct on there. Let me take a look. I have my hostess.
If it's 1 through 50 and 51 through 100, I haven't
Luck roll.
done.
Flat 50-50 chance. So wow, this is not being there. So yeah, I'm gonna count it for the lower end. So on that.
Okay.
So this, if you just got dead 50 right now. So luckily for you, yeah, you hit dead center on his chest. Luckily enough, not on the side of whatever the other carapace is here.
Not on the harpsichord side.
That is, yeah. So whatever this is, so he actually, and within range, yeah, you just hit the perfect shot, and he went. That's like, he just went down. He goes down. But as he does, you see his arm grabbing the side of what it's like of a shelving to try to stabilize himself before he goes down. It brushes the arm where you see these strands, and the most god awful, shrill, discordant buzzing fills the entire warehouse. Everybody, takes 3 hit points of damage. So as your earbuds almost rupture, go ahead and make another sanity check.
Do you want one for people outside too, Aaron?
For this, I will get back to you in a second. So yeah, so
Sure.
just everybody inside the warehouse at the moment.
That's a success on the sanity check.
Okay. And Drake?
I'm really gonna have to start using the dice roller because you're not gonna believe me, but I got a 66 under 85.
Jesus Christ.
Where's that dice rolling channel? I'm gonna go over there just so you don't think I'm lying.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just you're gonna survive this.
Where did you get these dice?
Gen
Because I
Con.
need to get some.
Oh God, I gotta bring out I gotta bring out the amethyst dice at this point. I might just do that. All right, but yeah, so it is a sand loss warehouse because this is an unearthly sound. This is something that you just have. It is a sound out of time and space. It doesn't seem like you should be able to understand it, but as you hear it, you don't just feel pain. You just don't feel discomfort from the discord. You feel like you literally are separated at the core of your being from who you are right now. And as you look back and forth, it's almost side to side from there. It's like you can see reflections of yourself that aren't there, that looks the same but different. And then it all snaps back into place. So, so for that, as a for a critical success, you're gonna take 2 regardless from that, Drake. So, but
No problem.
so that's a bit of a hard one. But yeah, it literally shattered reality for you on that. Ruben, take 4.
Okay.
So that is just it. It is heartening right now, and you are all. It doesn't affect you. The 3 other police officers that are going through are just writhing on the ground, looking up at this. Outside, yeah, you hear the gunshot. You hear that. You hear the noise. It hurts. It hurts so much. It's a painful one. But you don't actually take anything from it. Which is just it just seems like, for lack of a better term, a silent explosion. Like you're almost feeling the concussive force of it instead of actual audio, which is odd.
I'm going to be trying to get the cops not to go in when they hear gunfire.
Okay, that's going to be a hard persuade. So let's see that what your persuade's at 40, right?
Yeah, so probably.
Okay, so yeah, so go ahead. I'm gonna say I'll let you do it at full, but that's gonna be there's no takes backs on this one.
Crit success in the dice roller. 11 under 40.
You were lucky enough that they are very disoriented.
It's a federal matter. They have it under control. You guys don't. Trust me. Don't risk your pension on this.
Yeah, so they're very disoriented from what just happened. So they're trying to call back up because, again, this noise literally just shattered the windows out of everything. Oddly enough, so it's just it was there. But you run in, and yeah, you see your two friends on the ground, slight bud of blood rolling from the ears, and the others police officers who were just out.
So Daryl is dead, right, or at least down.
Yes,
do I
he
see
is dead.
dead? Do I see Sebastian and Abdul?
You do not see them, but they again. This is just in the warehouse portion of it. The office is a little bit further down in, and
Okay, gotcha.
Drake and Ruben also heard the gunshot.
All right. Well, so I run over to Drake and Ruben, and I try to assess their situation. Are they? Sorry, I must have missed it. But are they conscious and just disoriented?
They are conscious. So Ruben is a little bit worse for wear right now. So, but but Drake seems to be fairly with it.
Still have that ear protection in.
You do. So.
All right. Well, so I run over to Drake and I say, "Good job."
What?
Mop.
Let's check Daryl and then see what's going on with the people in the office.
Browdy, by the way, you gain another. You gain a moxie for the next Eclipse Phase game I run.
Ooh, that's 2.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, you can get over to the office right now if you want to. That's like you end up running up there. The door is wide open. You do see that there is one person down, shot in the head. It does look like it's Sebastian from the other the description, and one other person in the office. It looks like it is Abdul. So he appears to be crouched under his desk, clutching his ears and rocking back and forth.
I point down at Sebastian's body, and then I give the two agents a questioning look. Like, was this you?
What?
I shake my head.
Okay.
Federal agent, would I have handcuffs on me, or is that more of a beat cop kind of thing?
No, you can have handcuffs on you. That's fine. So if you're an investigator, that wouldn't be out of turn.
Just attach Abdul to his desk real quick while he's disoriented.
Okay. Just to make sure he's not running off. Okay. Yeah, and if anybody else has either first aid or that's like medicine, you can take a look and see if you can apply assistance to him. So,
I have 30 in first aid. Either of you guys better?
No, I'm a 10.
Okay. I have similar.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Okay. So this is to assess any kind of any kind of physical issue. So
15 under 30. I only succeed on my bad skills.
Okay. So, yeah, you do see that he actually was. It looks like there was another shot that came out. He was grazed by a bullet, but that doesn't seem to be. And he does have a bit of bleeding around the ears too, so that at least can be addressed with it. He does jump at the fact when he was touched, but he sees that there are other people around. He keeps repeating back to you, "Where is he? Where is he?"
Knowing that he can't hear, I do the draw my thumb across my neck thing, and then do the calm down pats with my hands. And, what's that?
Seeing the thumb across makes me want to go just check to make sure that the situation is contained in the other room.
Okay. Yeah, if you need to look out there too, again, yeah, that's it. That's like it appears that's yeah, no, it is confirmed. The other police are looking through. They're seeing them now, and yes, Daryl is very dead.
Is he still more harpsichord than man?
At least half of him is. So, or whatever this offbeat carapace is.
While Drake is out looking at Daryl and dealing with the cops, I grab. This is an office, right? So there's got to be just miscellaneous paper around.
Mm-hmm. There is.
And I just grab something and something to write with, and I scroll out, "Where was the meat?"
So.
And I show it to Abdul, and I hand him the pen.
So, He can still talk, so
Oh, okay.
he's much louder right now because of what's happened. Uh, so uh, we were supposed to uh, he was supposed to come here, so that was at least the agreement. But they, I don't understand. They said that whatever they had, it's like there was an accident. It they they couldn't take it. They wanted to they wanted it off their hands. Uh, that's like because they didn't want what happened to Daryl happening to them. They don't understand it. Uh, so we took. That's like so. Say said that they were going to take it. It's like they were going to take it, and they were just going to try to find a way to just like get rid of it, to throw it off the pier, put it in the Potomac. So, but when I told them we were losing all the money and whatnot, they started having an argument, and I don't know what happened afterwards. So they said they were going, and then Sebastian found us. It's like came racing in, and Daryl came in.
So the phone call where they were having that argument, that happened this morning?
Yes, that happened this morning.
Do you know where? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to make sure with Abdul, like, they have the harpsichord. It's not here, right?
No. They never brought it in.
Okay.
So they thought it was too hot. They were worried. They kept ranting about that's like their friends bursting into it's like burning from the inside out, or seeing multiple copies of themselves.
Okay, so assume that 2 of them are dead. How many of them are left?
So that would just be 2 more. So, and ready for their names right now. So let's see. We have.
Well, I'm not there. I'm just urging my my cohorts to
Okay.
get their names.
Okay. So if you want to, that information
So who are those 2?
That's going to be let's see. Harold Townsend. And let's see, what else? Who do we have? We have Harold Townsend, and we have Walter Kilpatrick.
If Harold and Walter needed to hole up, where would they go?
If they were gonna, it's like try to keep off the radar. They probably would be. It's like they have an apartment. It's like kind of more close along the project side, but it's more of a revamped loft after everything was gentrified. So that's where they usually go to hide out too, because I think it's too high class for everybody else, and it has all the amenities that they want. But they weren't in the right mind too. They were literally telling me they were going to drive in. It's like drive their van into the Potomac to get rid of whatever they had. So, and I don't. That's like I don't. It's like I don't know where they might be.
You said you only had burner numbers for them, and they dumped their burners.
Yeah. But I might have something for you.
Okay.
So, it's kind of new right now. With some stuff they it's like with some of the items that that's like that pass that will the more rare stuff. They're actually doing an isotope tracker.
On the harpsichord?
Yeah. They some people are putting like that's like this is something new right now. It hadn't been really talked about before too. So, but I know about it. So they were. It's like so there might and I know that there was a tag that the Met usually uses from a lot of their stuff right now. I'm surprised they didn't get the Smithsonian.
So what was your plan for dealing with it? What were you going to do about the isotope tracker?
Just I was gonna plant it on something else and put it on. That's like put it on a shipment going out to the UK and be done with it. So, but that's part of what they were bringing it here to do, so I could switch it off. But it never came here, so it's probably still on it.
Okay. We only have a couple more minutes here, Abdul, before those nice men in the black uniforms are going to come and take you away. Who was your buyer?
Oh, the buyer?
Yeah.
So, didn't give any names, any particular ones. It was just some woman. So some it's like blonde woman who went by the code name Composer. So if you look at the it's like I keep security records right now on it for everything. So it's like if you look in there, it's like if you look on the file tape, rambles off the date about 2 weeks ago. It's there.
Okay. I just grabbed the entire file tape, and I'll take it with us. Rather
All
than,
right. So.
Yeah.
So does he have the tracker, or was he just telling us about it?
He has the tracker information too. So if you want that.
Okay, yeah.
And so yeah, it's basically it's in his database. It's in his database, so you could grab that immediately. So, although I will say that it's a bit encrypted too, and he's out of it. So to get it intact without any issues, that'll be a computer sciences role.
Do either of you have computer science?
I have it at 20.
Nope.
That's better than 0.
Okay,
Right.
and I will say that you will have a plus 20 because he's actually helping you get into that. So it's basically making sure it's only just because the fact that he's out of it. So.
No.
Oh.
Nope. Negative.
All right. So unfortunately, because of this, he started a wipe of the system because he does not want to get caught with stuff that he has. So that was before everything went down. But you do have the files for the information for the buyer. So if you want that while you recover, you can take a look at that.
There is something
Sure.
I want to do before we leave the warehouse, but I'm in the other room.
Okay. So all right.
I think we're pretty much done. Other than that, I would ask, and you don't have to recite them now, Aaron, but I would ask him for physical descriptions of Harold and Walter.
Okay. So yeah, you get those that easily. So
out in the main warehouse, is there anything like a drop cloth or a tarp or anything?
yeah, that's easily there. What'd you get?
Cover up our friend, other brother Daryl's body. And obviously, with my hearing impaired, tell any cop who's around, this is a federal investigation, secure the scene, do not disturb the evidence, take Mr. Abdul into custody, but do not disturb the rest of the evidence. And
All
then
right.
text to my handler, weird stuff, cleanup crew needed, cop securing scene, must move on.
Okay. So I will say that for the police right now, because you have your FBI credentials, although that's kind of burned part of that too.
They just know I'm FBI. I'm not showing them anything.
Are you not showing them anything? Okay. So
FBI will be along to secure the scene. Please secure until then.
okay. You know what? Considering that you're doing third, I'm going to say you can do a persuade at a +10 because if you flashed a badge at least briefly and showed credentials, then yeah, they'll probably go with that. But it's going to be a hard sell.
All right, my persuade's 50. I'm using the dice roller this time.
Oh, you don't have to.
It's 3.
Oh, so well, yeah. So you get the response of okay. So we don't want to touch this right now. I don't want to deal with the fucking paperwork on this. So yeah.
So basically, I don't want whatever happened to him to get out, and I want them to secure the building until Delta Green can send a cleanup crew. But we have to move on. That's my take on it.
Their take on that too. Okay. Yeah. So you send the handlers out there to. Are you actually sending a picture of this alongside of that under the secured phone, or are you
secured phone to my handler? Yes.
Okay. So because the
needs
burner
clean up before it gets out.
Exactly.
Securing scene. Hurry.
So yeah, you get the you do that call. You put that in right now, and you get a call within seconds. Honestly, so they repeat back the third
Send
line.
it to voicemail. Text. Can't hear. Hearing damaged.
Okay.
Send.
So okay, hearing damaged. So all right, it comes back. It says, all right, what did you have? That's like, is the vector is this the prime vector? Is it contained?
Must get source of vector. This was only active one that I know of. Send.
Oh goodness. All right. All right. Okay. It's yeah. Message comes back. Cleanup crew will be there within. That's like will be there shortly. Do that's like make sure that the vector is in custody and that all loose ends are either captured and or eliminated.
Moving to secure source of problem. Send.
Okay. So, all right, noted. So, all right, but yeah, so they are coming in there. Also, just to let you know, at this point, they've given you actually see on the clock. They actually sent back what appears to be a widget for a clock, and it's giving you about 20. It's giving you at most 24 hours before a burn notice is put into effect in order to take this thing down with extreme prejudice, whatever it is. So
Okay.
they whatever has happened and what you've sent right now, they are not fucking around.
I want to
Pop
put out
back in
a APB for that SUV near the location that Abdul talked about.
Easily done. So that's absolutely where you can find that. You do see, so you do look at information, and as you're going out, you are. I'll say this is on an SD card or just a USB drive, so you can easily pull that information up. You pull back to the date where the contact for or the buyer for the harpsichord is. So, and you see, and you see the information on there. It looks like to be a blonde woman who is in her maybe late 40s, early 50s. So, uh, it's like darker sunglasses, but obviously, once it's kind of pulling around to giving her full facial profile, they're not really covering up that much. But with you, yeah, I can say, where is this? There's a networking check in there too. So, yeah, I'm just gonna give you this one too. You can make a history roll on this. So for contacts.
No,
Oh, you didn't make it?
I did not make it.
You did not make it. How much do you fail by?
29.
29? Okay.
Yes.
So, actually, I apologize. I'm going to take that one back because I forgot that this is the skill check, and this actually because you have a 60 on your history, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. No. Honestly, this is expertise graduation, so I'm not going to really do this. So you should have actually gotten that regardless. I apologize.
That's fine.
You know this because of your professional contacts. That is that is the curator of the Smithsonian Music Department that you were supposed to be meeting the other day today.
Okay. Who set that meeting up for us?
So that was that was just a general meeting through Delta Green contacts. So
Not our handler.
well, your handler was setting up that, correct? Yes. So
Okay.
so they were pretty much setting that up beforehand, but that's really odd.
Someone
Yes.
wanted something for their personal collection.
Right.
Or was false flagging in a way that's a little bit just concerning.
Can we still make our appointment?
You can. It's like you. As of right now, yeah, you can. But but you're also coming in for the fact where none of you can. There's only one of you who has the ability to hear anything.
Also, we have an idea of where the vector may be.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm wondering if we should just head that way and tried to get to it. We know who the buyer is. We can always
She can always disappear later.
right.
Oh, and in case you didn't know, we're on the clock. 24 hours to burn. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, we got to go get the harpsichord first. We can deal with the composer later.
Okay. So yeah, you do have like an interesting lead on this now. So how are you going to track? So how are you tracking the this? Or you're going through the looking through the SUV, correct?
Yeah. Did
Well, and the apartment, right?
Yeah, did Abdul give us an address or just a general location?
So he actually does give you the address, so you do have that information available.
I mean, I guess we start there, and presumably they're not there, but we may pick up more leads, right?
That's
Right.
true. Yes. So, all right. But yeah. So, yep. You can drive down. You end up driving down there. It's more towards again the one of the more downtown refurbished or gentrified areas for DC. Excuse me. But as you get, you find the building itself. It is a. It appears to have a door person on there too, and also has that's like seems to be controlled for the most part. You were told that their apartment was near the penthouse and kind of kept as a secured visit. Or how are you getting in? So
Is there a doorman or a door person?
there is. Yep. Yeah. There's a doorman, door person. So
We have 2 FBI agents with FBI badges, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll show my badge.
Sick 'em.
okay. So yeah, you do see. Yeah, it's like you do see that, and yep, they let you on through. That's like. They're like, oh, don't want to mess with this right now. Although I assume you've cleaned yourself up, so it doesn't look like you have dried blood around your ears. So
Yeah.
which is giving you a very John Wick approach to it. But yeah. So as you go up that's like stairs, once you hit the elevator, since it's each of these places, especially right now, seems to be almost like a floor to itself, so it's pretty expansive. But you see the door, and it's obviously been kicked in.
I will
But you do not hear anything.
pull out my gun, and I'm going to try and do a stealth check to creep in.
Okay, go ahead and make it.
No, that's an 86.
Okay, so yeah, you are creeping in there, but the yeah, you're as it's like you continue to go forward. You see that it's like you can hear labored breathing within that's like within the apartment. So somebody's still in here. And they are kind of like you hear that maybe they're trying to call out or call for a name, but they just can't really get. Although this is when you notice something else a little bit more odd right now is that it seems that voice echoes.
Pop my ear protection back in.
So yeah, this isn't a screech right now, but at least it's an odd echo. So are you proceeding further in?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you see that everywhere. This looks like there was a hell of a fight here. There obviously are gunshot. There's gunshot damage all around, but it looks like it was a lower caliber. Maybe this guy was using a 22, just a 22 pistol with some sort of silencer attachment on it, so it wasn't making a terribly large amount of noise. But it looks like there was, if there's bloodstains around there, around the furniture, around the kitchenette, and as you move in closer, so is everybody moving as a group, or is it just you, Ruben, first, and then everybody behind you?
I'll move and
let the
cover.
2 agents get ahead, but I'll follow behind them.
Okay, so all right.
And Ruben can take the lead, but I'll follow and cover.
Okay, so Ruben's gonna see it first, but you'll do that. Yeah, this is. That's like you turn the corner and you suddenly see the source of the echo, and it takes your breath away for a moment just seeing how this can actually play out. But it actually is in front of you. In the center, there seems to be, from your descriptions right now, there's Harold Townsend. So he's about 6'5". That's like with really longer, it's like brown hair, but that is extending from his body as there's one body in the center, and there seems to be at least 3 to 4 other ones that are replicas of him that are literally fanning out to his side. Each of their flesh stretched, and it's like in conjunction and looking similar but slightly different from each other, but still speaking in unison. Make your sand checks.
With the dice roller. 38. Success.
That matches 45 on 45. Is that a success or failure?
That is success. So you made a success if you match your number.
Okay.
41 under 49, so success.
All right. So that spared you the larger half of this. So, for seeing a full abomination. All right. So, Drake, you're going to take 2, Sam. Ruben and James, you just take 1. Because my rolling sucks tonight. So, but yeah, you are literally seeing Harold replicated in multiple ones, and it's asking you multiple times either. First one, are you here to help me? Me? Let me go home. Let me die. Let me see my family. It just keeps repeating until it starts saying other phrases going outward.
Yes, we are here to help you. And try to be comforting as my training allows, but also not get anywhere near it.
So, all right. So he's asking the questions right now. What are you asking Harold's?
Where is the harpsichord?
The Harold. Sorry, can you say that again?
Where is the harpsichord?
She has it. She took it. That's like she stole it. She stole our lives.
She, the blonde woman?
Yes. Of course, you're that bitch.
How many recursive heralds are there?
If you're looking on the side right now, it's about like 3 to 5, so about 8 if it's going on either side of him.
Just like all paper dolled together?
Yeah, just a horrible conjunction. So.
Okay.
So.
In a burner phone group chat.
Fuck.
So guys, we know where we have to go next. We can't leave this here. Fire? Question mark. Send.
How big is this building, Aaron? Just in a general sense, like how many units are we talking about?
It's about 10 stories. The top 2 floors are more kind of like the penthouse, where you're the one underneath it. So if you're looking on units, probably about 70 or 80 people total.
I don't know if I could pull 8 headshots in a row like you do, Drake.
I don't know if I can either. Building too big. Fire not good. Acid? Question mark. Send.
Holy shit.
I type back, funny for me to be the one suggesting this, but you could just use a hammer. Send.
Yeah.
Good plan. Hammer, then cleanup team. Question mark. Send.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, if nobody else is coming up here, then this could be another one for the cleanup team. He obviously isn't going anywhere, but this is another. Yeah.
Will the cleanup team handle these like more live situations?
Well, I'm not sure I understand. So.
Like, because the last one was like a dead body, or like can we just leave him here for the?
yeah, if it's not a complete threat, if you can confirm that it's not budding or multiplying and going to literally take over the building, then yeah. So
Harold, we're going to call someone to help, but we have to go find the harpsichord. Stay here. Someone will be along shortly to help you out.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Just kill me. Oh God. So you have to find her. She's trying to get away. That harpsichord. It did this. It ripped me from my homes.
Understood. Do you know where we can find her?
He is weakly. All of those hands are pointing in unison, and you see what looks like to be a cell phone. So that's unlocked, and it looks like it has a bead on the isotope tracker.
Thank you, Harold. We'll send help soon.
Okay.
We'll
all
also
right.
make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else.
So okay.
Sorry, there was Walter. Is his body around?
You hear Walter right now. He just kind of closes his eyes, and you see him crying. There's
Or
in
Harold?
recursive.
I think Charles. I think Officer Agent Rubin was asking about the other gentleman.
Yeah, Walter
Walter?
Kilpatrick.
Yep. And he just keeps shaking his head and crying.
Sounds like that's tied up.
Okay.
Possibly on there. So, but yeah, no, you have the listing on there, and it looks like that that's like the isotope tracker is heading out. It's like out of town. That's like towards let's see, it's a little bit further out right now, but it's looks like it's one more of the rural areas, right? That's out of the way too. So more than likely, it probably isn't going to a particular warehouse, but it might be going to the that's like our the director's private residence.
While I'm texting, do that thing where you're texting on your phone, but you're really pretending so you can take a picture.
Okay.
Send that to handler with the address. Moving to intercept harpsichord. Another cleanup. Send.
Okay. So, all right. It just says notified. Get there now. So, it's to get there now. So, yeah. So you are given clearance to basically, yeah, get the hell out of there. So, all right. So driving a case right now. I will say that right now, where as it's going out, it's not that far away. So if you can make a drive check, successful drive check, you'll have the chance to intercept them. But if not, then they'll make it to their destination.
I have a drive at 50.
Okay.
I do too, but you should just take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. Go ahead.
While he's driving, I call my grad assistant, and I tell her to get my LinkedIn profile and CV shaped up for the historical music director position at the Smithsonian, which I've heard is going to be coming open soon.
That's pretty good. So, like,
That's a good asset.
That is for collecting artifacts anyway. Very good. So, okay. All right. What did you get, Ruben?
I got a 30 out of 50.
30 out of 50. Okay. So, this, as you are heading out onto it's like the highway, you get a couple other directions and realize that you can actually not quite cut them off at the pass, but you can. That's like as you are, excuse me, as you're coming up right now, it's going to get you right behind them. So, and that's like you can actually see where it becomes more stress, I guess, more tense as you're coming up onto it's like the vehicle that looks like it's carrying itself. Where you're at right now, it appears that the vehicle that it's tracing in on is a larger white U-Haul. So it doesn't. It's like it's pretty nondescript overall. So let's see. We're thinking. So it just looks like it's pretty good. Are you gonna? I will say that you can make one pass. You try to make one pass and to confirm, and you actually see that the person driving in there is Walter Kilpatrick. So, but he's just staring ahead, and it doesn't seem like he's really looking in the rearview mirror or anything.
Okay.
So are you? What is your? So you have the plan right now. They doesn't seem to have noticed you yet, but I'm going to say that if you're trying to trace him back to to wherever they're going to ambush, that's going to be at least 2 more drive checks. So, or if you're wanting to stop them here and now or try to do something too, that's going to be assistance for either shoots or drives to keep things steady. So, what is the plan that you want to go with?
I could keep driving, or unless, do you guys think we need to intercept now?
Sooner the better. Professor, can you roll a computer science roll and help me get my phone paired to this car's Bluetooth?
Interesting. Okay.
No, I critically failed to do that. So I somehow managed to screw the phone up in the process of trying.
Okay. Actually, the thing is, the critical failure on that, you actually do succeed. But the thing about it is, the thing about it is that it actually, when you kind of it's like when you hear about that, you see. It seems to snap Walter out for a second because he hears some noise. He looks over and sees a random. It's like some random Bluetooth ID that is hooked into the system, and he panics and he punches it. So now, if that's like you will have to actually make the drive checks in order to try to keep up with him.
Okay.
Well, that wasn't where I wanted you to pair it, Doc, but okay. Start playing some calming music.
So, all right. So they're going. So, Ruben, go ahead and make another drive check.
That's a fail at 65.
At 65. Okay. So they're not gone completely yet. So, but you will have to make at least 3 checks to basically make sure that you're in turn, unless somebody else does something in order to give you a bonus or to take it out. So I'll let you make the decisions now. So, Drake, what would you like to do?
I would like to start playing from my phone, pull it up on YouTube, crank the volume up, the discordant song from the sheet music, which I guess is now playing through the van's Bluetooth.
Okay. Yeah, it did connect that. So yes, you are technically connected on there. So you would want to play that, correct?
The discordant thing from the sheet music and crank the volume up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, you can absolutely do that. So, what is your? Trying to think what would be on that. Because
I don't have computer science.
Yeah, I want to say that. So
it's just YouTube. That's like YouTube song name.
All right. So I'll actually do. Okay, this is actually interesting to me. So this will be another luck check.
All right. Let's go low again. Okay. Dice roller. 30.
30. Okay. So it does cause the. So when you do that, it does cause Walter to let up off the accelerator too, and it starts the U-Haul starts weaving back and forth a little bit more. It doesn't seem to be in that much control, and with that luck check, because of how violently he is trying to roll back, it loosens the latch on the back, and the backside rolls up, and this is where again everybody can take another sanity check too, as you. That's like see that the professor or the doctor, which whomever we never gave a name, so or Helen Hines. There we go. So
the composer.
The composer is obviously in the back, but she very much is not human, or the versions of her are not human, as you see one in the center that seems to be more that seems to have retained that human form, but she seems to be connected to a tether with 4 other individuals that seem to be in states of transformation, obviously, into those weird carapaces, each holding another instrument. One of those being a trumpet of some sort of cornet, another of a cello that it looks like, and another one holding something more akin to a bass. But they all seem to be but as you realize, that discordant music is coming out of it, as they seem to be obviously replicating each other right now, and it fills the freeway with its sound. So cars are scattering everywhere, and you hear the pain. You feel that same pain that you did. So go ahead and make your sanity rolls again.
I used the dice roller, 56.
Okay.
Made it?
5.
Wait, no, that's Tegathu.
No, that's
Sorry, 36 made it. 36 made it.
I had a 56 fail.
56 failed. Okay. So first off, everybody takes still another hit point from the discordant music here. Everybody else, it's like Drake and Ruben, you'll go ahead and take another 2, but you're kind of used to it. And Rich, since this is the first time you're hearing it unfiltered, so let's see on that. Take 6, and that's a temporary insanity. So are you?
I will project.
All right.
So that's 1d4 willpower and sand.
That's correct. Yeah. What are you projecting onto?
Oh, sorry, I screwed up the. I only got 1, so I still get a temporary, unfortunately.
Okay, unfortunately. So fight, flight, or freeze.
I will. We're still moving, right?
You are in a moving vehicle. Yes.
Okay, so
Don't say flight.
yeah, no, that's why I just wanted to confirm that before I said freeze, because that's really the only thing I can do that's not immediately suicidal.
Okay. Yep. So that's again, it's your choice on there, but yeah, it freezes you in place. It is just so. The music right now, for some reason, is so horrifying, yet rapturous is the last other word you can think of too. It just freezes you in place. You cannot think of anything else at the moment. So, but she seems to be distracted at this time. So, but this music is still coming out there. It's causing wrecks all over the place. People are. It's like people are running out of their cars, screaming. They're bleeding out of their ears as you pass by. So, what are you doing?
Opening fire and yelling, "Ram them!"
Okay, so all right, so we'll do the first one on there. So go ahead. You can make your shot, but it is at a -10 because of the music. It's a distraction.
Dice roller, 33 under an adjusted 40. You can see in the dice roller.
I believe you. God, you're just pulling an and tonight, is what you're doing. So, oh man, this is great. Anyway, so all right, so you'll be able to get the shot off before the drive check, and let's see for there. All right, so that was a double damage right now. What were you aiming for?
I would say it would have been the composer prime, whichever one the rest seem to be sprouting from.
So that would be the center one. So where she is, yeah, you do land just it's like a massive, a perfect hit at any other range. But as you do, you see that it slows down as it's all going towards her. It seems like it's just the sound waves are literally disrupting its flight path in some way, and it's unusual. You actually see the bullet split, like the people did in different ways before suddenly snapping back together and hitting her. So, which will count as sort of an armor in this case. So you got 8, correct?
8, but double because of the crit.
Yeah, it's double because of the crit on the 16 too. But this that sound wave basically diffused it a little bit and turned right now. So she's only going to take about well, actually, yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to think of the halving on there too. So yeah, she does take 10 damage on there. straight, and it knocks her down too, and the other figures turn and see you. So she is down actually on the count, but they start flickering a little bit, but their attention is now all on you. So we'll get to them here in a second. All right. So Ruben, what is your role for the drive? Because are you trying to dodge out of the way, or are you trying to ram the truck?
I'm gonna try and ram.
Okay. So, all right, go ahead and make your roll.
That's a 7 out of 50.
A 7 out of 50. Okay. So I'm going to make a luck roll on Walter because he does not see this. He is just in the front of traffic. And unfortunately, he did not roll high, so he does not even have the chance to dodge it. So let's see. With the damage on the car, and what is the aim of this ram to do? What are you trying to accomplish with it?
I kind of want to briefly like disrupt the. You said they're standing like playing the instrument, so I kind of want to get them shaken from whatever they're playing.
Okay. So, alrighty then. Yeah. So they've. So you're trying to disrupt that. She's already shot. So that will. So the success on that absolutely will do this, but the success of it will damage your car, and everyone will take damage because of it.
Okay.
So that's going to be it's going to be a car wreck. Unfortunately, that's going to be pretty bad. But I'll say that you did roll a success from it. So, all right. Let's see how much that did. Well, actually, I will roll. All right. That's going to be. Yeah, you actually absolutely cream that too, because that's going to be 10 points of damage, basically right to the axle of this thing. But it is still an SUV, a sort of smaller one versus that's a truck, so or a U-Haul truck. So part of that your full front end goes off. The other, it's like the other figures go flying towards you.
Okay.
They hit, they bounce, and they seem to again scatter out into multiple versions. But as you do that, it actually does splinter each of some of the instruments that you're seeing on that, as well as the harpsichord that goes flying over the SUV as you see it, and you turn your head outside of just being rammed into the. That's like rammed into the airbag as it's going off, and here's like a thunderclap as the everything seems to snap back into reality. It's painful in your ears, but you are hearing normal noises again as much as you can. So everybody else, let's see. For damage wise, this is still the car wreck. There's still ambient. Everybody takes 5 damage.
Yikes.
It is a car wreck, and they are not fun. So
with my previous damage, that means I'm down to 2. I forget
2.
Delta Green. Does that mean I'm knocked out? Anything?
For this one, I believe you have to be 0 at unconsciousness, but you're almost close. Let me see.
I thought it was 2.
And that was also half my total hit points in one go.
That is true. The half total hit points. So okay, so go ahead and make a con check to see if you can stay conscious.
Nope. 4, according to the dice bot.
Jesus. Okay. We might have a new agent to rival other ones in the future. So good job. But yeah, you see that. You all look up over the airbags as you're kind of just trying to get yourself out. The U-Haul itself is on its side. You think you see Walter's body hanging off to the side, which looks like he has part of that carapace that was on his body but wasn't visible. And Helen Hines is just sitting in the it's like limped over on the side of the road, obviously dead from the bullet sans blunt force trauma. So you hear sirens all around you as well. So it's pretty bad. Drake, you hear a buzzing on your phone for your burner from the handler asking about this, asking about the status.
Vector, contained, messy, police on way, send location. through the
All
phone
right.
send location thing.
All right. So, yeah. So that's about the time when you might pass out because you're just like your eardrums are ruptured. You have contusions, maybe a couple broken bones. But congratulations, you did that. You managed to stop. That's like whatever this was, this horrible quartet from accomplishing its goal of whatever its goal was. So, but a couple weeks, about a week or two goes by, you are all admitted to the hospital. So, with like the multiple injuries, but you did get a note from your handler stating that despite the fact that this multiple car pileup, which killed a noted professor of music history, uh, it's like and several others. The fact of the matter is that the artifacts and the incident was not really well noted because most of the noise that was or oddities that were caused right now were just considered to be some sort of that's like aspect of a freak accident or could be passed off as maybe a terrorist attack if it's investigated any further. So using an odd sonic weapon. But you have managed to at least stop this particular incident from happening. You no longer find anything else out because after the harpsichord is recovered, but it is severely damaged. But they, as the program believes that it is still a considerable threat, it is put into a green box and is never spoken of again. So I will say that there is one other issue that did you disclose the other instruments that you saw?
Yeah.
Full report.
Okay, so full report. They do note that there was actually one other it's like that they had reports of possibly another instrument in there, to what looked like to be very thick drumsticks with ornamental devil heads on them. That's like were recovered at the scene, but those seem to have gone missing.
Next
So,
time.
but that will be a different issue for another day. So, but that ends. That's like this particular night at the opera or night at the concert. So, well, comments, questions, suggestions.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was
All
great.
right, excellent stuff. Excellent. I'm really glad about that. So again, this is kind of another like off the thing I was thinking about for the next week. So, are there any questions about the scenario that you guys had?
Were you intentionally changing people's last names to imply the different realities?
Yes, actually, I was. So,
So I got 3 different
basically,
last names on Sebastian.
yes. So
Yeah.
I was kind of screwing with that as well as you kept going in that. So basically, what the harpsichord was doing, I played it as an Eldritch artifact that was created. Think akin to right now some of the things that were created. I hate to bring this up right now, just as the inspiration, but I looked at it and it's thinking La Marchand's playbox from Hellraiser or the Lament configuration. So it was I'm thinking of a composer who was literally trying to find the most discordant harmonies, and basically through whatever version of hypergeometry or musical theory that he managed to find, he literally did that and found it literally split off into a person into their different dimensions, basically different realities and different lives for every choice, but it forced them into this reality when it happened. And he hid that away, uh, but of course, like any mad creator, continued to create it's like other instruments that would be conjoined because he figured this thing could be used to create perfect harmony, something that could literally link all worlds together because he was just nuts. So and had a bunch of knowledge that he shouldn't have. So, and I will say, so that's kind of the basis for that. And as for the armored pieces, everywhere I'll put up a picture. But I was also decided to use inspiration from another Common Rider series, one called Common Rider Hibiki. That actually deals directly with music, and it's actually one of the more fascinating series. So if you ever get a chance to, that's actually a really good one. But I'll put up the let's see, kind of no, not sick. SIC. I would like to show what the kind of the suit design I was with it. You image.
And the Bluetooth thing, I just wanted some chase music in our car. That's all I wanted.
Well, that's what happens when you critically fail things. So, but yeah, that's kind of similar to the look that you were kind of I was getting from some of these, since that series had a bunch of other writers with this weird kind of the carapace, since they were supposed to be demon hunters.
Okay.
So
So was the composer, was she just trying to get all the instruments together to bring harmony?
yes. So she was she is somebody who studied this for years on end. There you go.
Yeah, sorry. When I hit view image, and it kicked me out of the.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So
that's fine.
StreamYard. So okay, but yeah. So basically, she is somebody who studied this just stuff for a while. Ended up finding one of the other instruments first off, and gained eldritch knowledge from this so she became obsessed with this, and basically went down the route of if you're messing with things that you shouldn't be, then you're going to be infected by something. So
Okay.
So it's kind of going with that. I know it's a bit more loose in terms with it, but yeah, it was that was kind of the linchpin right now. Because if you had gone to talk to her about that, she would have given you information, but you would have. If you had done more investigating, we realized that she was trying to false flag you and send you down a wrong path. So, in order to complete her plan, so you would have had to deal with essentially one of the other groups, the local groups. So either the Falcons Club or the Mendozas. And then that would have led you kind of roundabout the road, like, why are you attacking us? Oh, well. And then she probably would have attacked you either with Walter or with Harold if he had been more together and tried to take you all out at once.
This isn't even a suggestion; it's just a thought. If you want to play up the like weirdness of the composer being our contact at the Smithsonian, I would probably move the break-in a day or two. Because that accelerated things so quick that there was just no chance for us to go talk to her.
Okay, so no, that's a good suggestion for the break-in. So yeah, I do apologize if that kind of felt a little more compressed out there. So, but this is kind of the mind of doing essentially con scenarios to make sure that you guys can do that within a 3 to 4 time hour or so.
Well, that's why I wanted to be clear. It's not a criticism. It's just that would give us more time to get to that discussion.
Oh no, and that's constructive criticism, and I always appreciate it. So you're making an excellent point. So, and it's something that I always appreciate with these games too, because it's still kind of making me work on my on my plans too, and what I'm doing. So I absolutely appreciate it. So all right.
The one other thing I had was that the scar didn't translate to one of the not yet born buds, but did exist on one of the burn buds and on the bud that we were after, right? The budding guy.
Yes.
I don't know if it was intentional or not.
That was actually not intentional on me too, because I was trying to keep that straight in my head. Because sometimes I was trying to get on the idea that different choices were going to create the different buds. So basically, different the different reality. So, but I wanted to make it as clear as possible that at least on that first guy that this was the same person. Or it literally wasn't just something like, hey, let's Nyla Hope have decided to staple this guy to this guy for reasons we don't know. So to try to make that clear. So, but that's something I definitely will do in the next time to see creating out specific links right now to make sure that that's clear for you guys or anybody else who plays. Cool. So, but otherwise, no, I'm really happy you like that too. So, but thank you guys. You're wonderful players, all of you. So, I'm glad that, and hopefully this was for our first time people. This is a fun time for the Patreon games. So, at least the recommendations.
It was a great time.
Right, excellent. And everybody else who is listening to this after the fact, if you would like to join in these games, you can do so by signing up for the RPPR Patreon at the $10 level, I believe. So you can get access to our Discord as well as the after hours programming, and also these games that we usually try to play at least 3 weeks out of the month. So and these are run by myself, Russ, our glorious leader. So our friend Jason Brown. I believe Thad has run one in the past too recently, or at least is planning to. But we have a whole number of people who are willing to kind of help bring these games to you. So if you think this sounds fun and you enjoyed this, please consider giving us a like. So, but we'll end the broadcast here. Thank you guys so much again. We'll see you next time.
Have a nice one.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.